so just and a faithful a manner as to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interest you have committed to our charge. Amen. Legal officer, kindly proceed with the administration of oath.
I, Alphonse Kipruirotich, do swear that the evidence I shall give before this committee is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, and welcome. For purposes of proceedings of this committee, Adhoc committee that was formed pursuant to Kericho County Assembly standing orders to investigate a matter in relation to Londiani incident that happened on the 30th and preceded by a fundraiser on the 4th of July. We wish to take part on the part of the introduction. I am Rotich Moses, MCA representing Tendano Soget Ward, and the chair to this committee. My vice chair to introduce herself.
I am Irene Langat, vice chair to this committee. Karibu Alphonse.
I am Vincent Korir. I represent Londiani Ward and a member of this committee.
David Maritim, MCA Chief Honored member.
My name is Dora Keino, nominated MCA member to the committee.
I'm Richard Langat, MCA Kedoake Ward, member to this committee.
Thank you very much, Chair. I'm Philip Bruno, leader of Majority County Assembly of Kericho, and a member of this committee. I represent a ward called Kamashan, and Chair, maybe for the purpose of conflict of interest, I want to say I don't have anything that will bring about conflict of interest. Thank you.
Korir Matthew, MCA High Court, member to this committee. I don't have conflict of interest at any point.
Welcome, Mr. Alphonse. I'm Gabriela Chepngeno, nominated MCA and chair. I have no conflict of interest.
I'm Kibet Peter, MCA Kapsusar Ward. Alphonse is a friend, but I don't have any conflict of interest. Thank you.
I am Mas Jerry Gikonyo, nominated MCA, a member of this committee. Chair, I have no conflict of interest.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Eric B, MCA Kablila 3rd Ward, a member of this committee. Also, I know Alphonse. He comes from my ward, and any deliberation will not hinder. I declare conflict of interest. Thank you.
I'm Hezron Ngetich, representing the great people of Chilchila. I'm Curie to the committee.
Within us, two members of the Secretariat. I wish to give them a chance to introduce themselves.
Good afternoon. My name is Abraham. I'm a member of the Secretariat. Welcome.
Good afternoon. I'm William Tale, a member of the Secretariat.
Good afternoon. My name is Redis Chepngetich, PR officer.
I'm Patrick Korir, PR officer.
And Justice Martin, Sergeant at Arms.
Thank you so much. I wish to give you a chance to introduce yourself, putting emphasis on your roles in Kericho County government.
Thank you, Chairman. As I said, my name is Alphonse Rotich, currently the Chief Officer, Executive Office of the Governor. I know the other time I appeared with you, I was looking for a job as a Chief Officer in the Lands Department. I thank you for giving me that chance to have served. So when I joined as Chief Officer Lands, I was transferred to the Office of the Governor as a Chief Officer there. Now, concerning, I go straight to
Not really. I wish to take you through for purposes of time. Maybe allow me to proceed, then I'll give honorable members a chance to. This is an interactive forum where we seek evidence regarding the Londiani incident, and also a fundraiser that happened on the 4th of July and the events that proceeded after. We are on live coverage. You underwent the oath, so we believe that everything that you will tell this committee is the truth and nothing but the truth. So on this, I'm drawn to the 18th of July, 2023.
Chairman, before 18th of July, because Honorable or the Chief Officer has been mentioned by various witnesses that appeared before this committee. Maybe I know you've also been following. You are now at the center stage of this thing. I just wanted to remind you that said by the chair, you are under oath. Number 2 is that we are at the tail end of cross-examining the witnesses that will assist this committee in coming up with a very perfect report that will render justice not only to the victims, but to everyone associated with the same. And maybe, because Chairman will take you on the issue of minutes, allow me to start that you are aware that on June 30th, this county, there was an accident in Londiani that happened. I know it is in public domain and everybody knows. And number 2, on 4th July, you know, and I think maybe Alphonse, I just want you to put on your microphone. The answers that I require is yes or no before I hand over to Chairman. That on 30th June, you are aware of the accident that happened.
Yes, sir.
On 4th July, you are aware that there was a fundraiser led by His Excellency, the Deputy President, for the purpose of assisting those victims of the accident.
Yes, sir.
That informs now a question to me. After the money was collected, are you aware of where the money was banked?
I was not.
You don't know where the money was banked?
Can I request to do an introduction? Because I was involved from the beginning to the end.
No. This one, my question is, are you aware after the fundraiser, where was the money taken to?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Have you heard that it was banked in our county donation account?
I heard them recently.
You heard, but you are not sure?
I didn't know. I didn't know I did not know where the money was.
You don't know?
I didn't.
Up to date, you don't know where the money is?
I don't know.
Thank you, Chairman. So you can proceed from there.
Thank you so much, Mr. Alphonse Rotich. I am drawn to the 18th of July. The minutes of the meeting of 18th of July. Can you recall the meeting that happened in the office of the governor, boardroom?
Yes, sir.
Were you in attendance?
Yes, sir.
What was your role in the meeting?
I was called by the county secretary to take minutes.
You were called in to take minutes?
Yes, just take minutes.
Thank you so much. So you are confirming, can you kindly confirm to us who was in attendance, who was the membership?
The person chairing was the first one, Dr. Bor.
Dr. Wesley K. Bor.
There was a presence of Honorable Joseph.
Kindly come up.
Chairman, I think the witness can't raise up the voice.
Okay. I'm not used to my. So the chairman was Dr. Wesley Bor. There was Honorable Joseph Chirorot. There was Honorable Leonard Ngetich. Honorable Brenda B. And then my colleague, Betsy Chebet, Mr. Wekesa Simiu, who is Assistant County Commissioner, and I was there taking the minutes. These other members.
Let me ask you a question. Yes. Was Honorable Rosemary Robb present in the meeting?
She was not.
She was not?
Yes.
So you are confirming to this committee that Honorable Rosemary Robb was not present in the meeting?
She was not present.
Secondly, Honorable Chirchir Judith, CEC, Education, Culture, Library and Social Service.
She was not.
She was not present.
Yes.
Honorable Daniel Robb.
He was not.
He was not present.
Yes.
Then your role was taking minutes.
Yes.
A good question would come to you, Mr. Alphonse.
Yes, sir.
Why did you indeed capture the names of the above CECs whom you know they were not present in the meeting? Were you in a purpose of creating a quorum to the meeting?
No. What happened is when I was called to take minutes,
yes.
I asked the purpose of the meeting because I didn't know what the meeting was for. So I was actually told that it is a committee
yes.
to deliberate on the Londiani victims.
So on minute 1,
yes.
the meeting was called to order by the chairman at 10:30. Yes.
But Chairman,
Listen,
you'll allow us.
Just a minute.
You'll allow us.
Just a minute. Just a minute.
Members present. You have just read members present. When you are taking minutes, Chairman, let's not divert. When you are taking minutes, you have said members present. What do you mean by members present? Physically seen. But you have gone ahead and indicate their names of those who are not there.
The members are indicated. I later learned they were coming for another meeting completely different from this one. Rosemary was coming to chair a meeting of her fellow CECs.
Minute number one. On minute number 1. The meeting was called to order by the chair at 10:30. This was followed by a prayer by Honorable Daniel Robb, to whom you have confirmed to us that he was not in the meeting. Did you pray in that meeting?
I don't remember a prayer.
Thank you so much. Yes. I wish to be drawn to an attention on the 19th. There is a letter from Edgar Towet to Alphonse Kipkruirotich. That is request for supply and delivery of items for county government function. Right?
I beg your pardon. What is the date?
The date is
July.
That July. That is it. 3rd of July. A letter from Mr. Edgar Towet, Chief Officer and Head of County Delivery Unit, to one Alphonse Kipkruirotich, Chief CEO, Executive Office of the Governor.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Can you recall the letter?
I recall.
It is of reference number CG OK COS FIN Volume 1 111. That was for 3rd of July 2023. The subject matter of the letter is a request for supply and delivery of items for a county government function. I want to be very clear. For a county government function. Following the Grizzly Road accident at Londiani Junction, which occurred on the 30th June 2023 and claimed 52 lives and several others left injured, a memorial service fundraiser has been planned and scheduled for Tuesday, 4th July at Londiani Town Grounds. I don't wish to go into the particulars because you can recall the letter. I am only drawn to the attention that you made, Mr. Edgar, you signed this letter you took the letter to Chief Officer Finance, right?
What happened on that?
Yes.
Is Mr. Edgar, who is the chief of staff,
Yes.
came to my office
Yes.
and said there will be a function tomorrow, which is the fundraising, to be attended by to be presided over by His Excellency, the Deputy President.
Yes.
So I asked him to document it so that they are recorded. Then he went back to his office and brought back this letter. Then on this letter, I approved the function.
Thank you so much. Yes. Then the undernotes from Chief Officer Finance is kindly consider this under emergency because it was county government function.
Yes.
On the 19th of July, after the note reads, after consultation, it was decided to be paid under fundraiser kitty. Right?
Yes.
Proceed.
Yes, can I add something? Juan Alphonse, you will allow us to ask you questions, and I know you are here to answer. The same letter, I'm not even going outside to look for other letters. The same internal memo. After being given a letter from Edhoc to you, number one, here you indicate that approved.
Yes, sir.
And you indicated CEO Finance.
I wanted to come to that.
Yes, and you indicated CEO Finance. Kindly consider this under emergency. The way my chair has just put it, with your signature. But I thought that number two should become a comment from the CEO Finance. But instead, it is your comment again. After consultation was done, to be paid under the fundraising kitty. Your signature appearing the same. So, meaning that this letter, you didn't even send to the CEO Finance for consideration of the emergency payment. It is only you that you are making comments on your own letter. So kindly clarify to us whether that there is a comment for the CEO Finance or it is you owning their own comments, and yet the letter was supposed to go to CEO Finance first before. Yes, kindly.
Yes, the letter was written to me on 3rd, and I wrote on it that it has been approved for the Chief of Staff to process to continue holding the Harambee function. Then when the function, the Harambee, was on 4th July. Now, when we came back to the office on 5th, is when I now, because the accounting year was closed on June 30th, so we didn't have any money. So the logical thing to do was to ask finance.
You didn't have what?
There was no budget for, because the financial year had been closed.
But
on
you have
June
mentioned
30th.
that you didn't have money.
Budget is money.
Okay.
In other words, I meant the budget for this function, because the financial year had been closed and the systems was not working. So the logical thing to do, we decided to request Treasury to pay for us using the county emergency funds, which I thought it was the best thing to do. Because at that time, I didn't know where the money from the fundraising was or how much it was collected. I didn't know. This letter of mine was delivered with a delivery book, which I didn't get the chance to bring when you called me to finance. And no action was taken for 2 weeks, from 5th to 19th. On 18, which is a date to 19, is when this meeting of the committee of Londiani held a meeting. And I was now instructed to go and retrieve my letter and write again for the CEO Finance to pay using the, I was instructed by the county secretary. He even wrote another letter of the same, instructing requesting the Honorable Leonard Getich request for facilitation of payment for expenditures in card in the Londiani incident, which was was signed by the county secretary, following my minutes. And now, from there, when we delivered the minutes and these letters, that's the last time I had anything to do with the Londiani incident.
Yesterday, Supertrix, who is the contractor you awarded the tender during that season, appeared before this committee. I want to know what method of procurement did you manage to use for him or for her to supply tents to Londiani? Which method of procurement? And number one, do you have a procurement officer in your office?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you have a procurement officer in your office, which method of procurement was used to supply tents and chairs to Londiani fundraising?
And another question on top of that one: why was it exactly you that made a call? If you indeed have a procurement officer in your department or in your office, why is it that it was exactly you who are making calls to the same contractor, maybe to undertake the service, and not the procurement officer who is in possession of all the pre-qualified contractors to offer the same service?
I answer. Mr. Chairman, I have these two comments to make. In my office, I sometimes is the accounting officer, and I am sometimes a messenger who is being told, make sure this one is happening.
Okay, to be on record. You mean you are a chief officer, at the same time a messenger, at the same time an accounting officer, at the same time a procurement?
No, I didn't.
You should be paid a lot of money to...
Yeah, so when I say I'm a chief officer, but I have other people who are senior to me in the same office, including His Excellency the Governor and the County Secretary, Dr. Paul. So sometimes this function came in a very short notice, under 12 hours. And there was a sense of urgency to make the function succeed. So for it to be successful, I was sent. First, I was sent physically to Ray's Hotel by the County Secretary. Yes. So when he sends me, I cannot say no, because there is a function the following day. Because we were made to understand that the Deputy President was supposed to take lunch in Ray's Hotel. And therefore, it needed our complete attention on the preparation of that lunch. That's why I was sent physically. So before even I went, I called the hotel. And then I asked them if they also have tents. They say they have a partner. And they will arrange for the partner to come to the hotel so that we meet.
Chairman, because he's saying he was sent by the County Secretary, the Race Hotel, yes. And the director for Race was here, and she did confirm that she is not part of those who are pre-qualified to offer service to county government of Kericho. How fast did you choose to host a county function at the Race Hotel, yet very well, in your own knowledge, you knew that Race Hotel is not pre-qualified to offer hotel services and any other services to the county government of Kericho? Why didn't you choose Exotic Hotel, Hills Hotel, those that are pre-qualified within? Why was it exactly you had to choose Race Hotel?
In line with that, maybe in line, please, yes. In line with that, kindly allow us to also say something. In line with that, you were asked about procurement officer. Maybe do you normally consult with the procurement officer? And when you consult, do you normally get feedback that maybe there are procedures to be followed when doing procurement? I would like to know whether you have a list of procured companies, pre-qualified companies that are there for you to choose when you need to offer services. Again, you see, Yes. Yes, I hope you are getting it. You are writing. One, you do consult with the procurement officer. And do you normally get feedback? Do you also have a list of procured companies? I hope you are writing so that you can answer. Again, no, I want to ask and then you answer. Again, according to Supertrix, you are mentioned, and also Ray's Hotel mentioned you. Also Supershine, I think, brought your name here. And this is what they said. I hope you are following. That you made a call, and they say they will not get money from the IFMIS. So I want to know what level of trust or commitment did you offer to the companies so that they can be able to give out the services?
Thank you. So it is your time, Alphonse, to answer these questions accordingly.
Thank you very much, Chairman. For raise, because of the urgency of the function, I think a decision was made at a higher level. I was just sent to go and make sure everything is in order.
I think, Chair, you should be telling us the higher level by names. We know higher levels, even here is high. Tell
Through
us
the
by
chair.
names.
Yeah.
For the record, Mr. Alphonse, Director Reyes was here and she said that you made a phone call to her line direct. She didn't say that you appeared there by yourself. She said you made a phone call.
Even the two guys, the two directors from Supershine, you were online, three of you, and they confessed before us. Thank you. Proceed.
Thank you very much. So when I say a decision was made at a higher level because of the stature of the Deputy President, I was almost ordered by the County Secretary, whom I report to go to Ray's Hotel and make the necessary arrangements, which I made a phone call to ask them whether they have the capacity of the people who are expected. And I also made a follow-up. I went there personally to go and see whatever the preparations were there. Now, I want to make this statement. At some point in county government, I don't know whether another administration or what, we had lost a lot of trust with our suppliers, with our merchants. So we made a lot of effort because they had already even denied me until when Mr. Bor came in the evening, is when they agreed to host the function. So even me calling them, for the company like Supershine, I was seeing them there for the first time. I've never worked with them before. And I did not give them the word. I'm requesting if I can finish one, then I go to the other.
Okay, let's give him time, please.
So for the company of Supershine, I was seeing them there for the first time. And I did not give them any job at first until the county secretary came, because they had gone to inspect the laying of the tent in Londiani. So they came in the evening. So I asked them, do you think these guys can perform? They can do the job? The chief of staff said he has seen them before doing a wonderful job. That's when I agreed to give them the go-ahead to erect the tents. Otherwise, I had never worked before, so I did not know who they were. For Ray's, they only agreed to host the function because initially we wanted to host 350 people. And they agreed when the county secretary came and talked to the directors. Me, I was dealing with the manager before because we had done a function there before. Supertrix. I think he was called, but why he's saying my name, I don't know. But he was called by a higher authority than me.
Okay, is there a question? You be mentioning names of the higher authority people.
Higher authority, when I say my boss is Dr. Bor.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, let me give a chance, Honorable Matthew.
Okay, Bwana Sio,
Yes.
we want here to be very straight. Does Rage Hotel pre-qualify?
They have no pre-qualifications.
Super Shine?
Super Shine, I was seeing them for the first time.
No, I'm asking. Do you know what, Bwana Sio? You are working under the government of Kericho County, and you are the CEO in charge of the office of the governor. So when you are telling us you have just seen Super Shine for the first time, you are just lying to this committee. Tell us, is Super Shine pre-qualified to supply tents and chairs to any event to the county?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yes.
Supertrix? Is Supertrix pre-qualified?
I think so.
Yesterday, the director confirmed to this committee that the Supertrix is not pre-qualified. Okay, thank you. After awarding the tender to Race Hotel, do you have any document to show that you awarded the tender to Race Hotel? Do you have a award letter?
There was no letter.
You have an LSO? Yes or no?
There was no LSO.
Do you have any forger that when you are doing transaction of payment, do you have any forger?
The forger should have been prepared in finance and not my department because we requested.
But you should have signed as well.
I didn't sign anything.
Yes, if you don't sign.
Yes, I didn't sign anything.
Okay. We'll get that person you are telling us finance as the AIE holder to the office of the governor. You know, Alphonse, you have been mentioned in this matter more than anybody else. So it is better you explain to us so that it can cut the speculations that we have and can reduce the histories that we have about you for the witnesses that have appeared before this committee. So when I ask you a question, you know very well, in any payment in the county, either for the office of the governor, you must sign the forger. You must sign the forger.
Yes, I know.
As the AIE holder.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
That's why you signed the letter.
Yeah, but
did you sign the forger?
No, I didn't sign any.
You don't have the LSO?
I don't have.
What method of procurement did you arrive to give the Race Hotel, Super Shine, and Supertrix? Method of procurement. We have one yesterday that was mentioned, that it is a FAPOL awarding. Tell us which method of procurement did you use?
We can say direct procurement.
Direct procurement.
Yes.
Direct procurement, it is only in the national government, even to the county government. You give direct procurement. I want you to go read PPRA regulation and you'll get to know these things. Direct procurement is only given to whether it is an army procuring something, a militia, something like that. But it's not like this where you can get many contractors who are pre-qualified to offer service to Kericho County government. So another thing, Bwana Alphonse, I want you to read quotation. Did you collect quotation from any other contractor, or it was just you pick one and that was final?
A decision was done for race and it was final. We didn't pick
what about Supertex?
He was called and there was no other quotations.
You know who called?
I said he was called by Dr. Bor, who is my boss.
Yes. Okay, yes. Thank you. Let's
allow me maybe for clarification. You see, it's the same Supertrix that informed this committee that you did make a call to them that they supply that service. And you are now saying the call was made by Dr. Paul. Can you repeat who called Supertrix?
He was called by Dr. Paul.
Dr. Paul.
I've dealt with those people before.
Thank you.
And they see me as a very small man.
They underrate your power.
Yes, they see me as a small man in that office, so they deal with it.
So they deal with the big boss himself. Thank you.
Yes.
What of now Super Shine? Do they also consider you, because we saw two directors, two young men. Do they also consider you as a small man, or they consider you as a very serious senior man?
They consider me as a very senior person, honest, a man who keeps his word. That is why they agreed to do the job.
So Super Shine, you call the Super Shine?
they were called by Ray Sote, and I found them on site.
Ah, good.
Yes.
Good,
Thank
good,
you.
good. Hey, and committee, I must commend the truthful man before us today. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Vincent.
Thank you. Thank you very much for shedding light. And you see, the activity that happened was in Londiani. Can you confirm that?
Yes.
And it was a fundraising in Londiani.
Yes.
Who made the decision that you can eat lunch in Race and you cannot eat lunch in Londiani? Because there was an option to save money for the tent here and utilize resources that are there and save money for the victims. Number two, you mentioned somewhere in a document that emergency fund. Are you aware that there is an emergency fund somewhere? Are you aware about that?
Yes.
Now, what changed? Who changed or who gave the direction? Because there's somebody who is guiding you after consultation. Who was that was consulting with you and arrived at, let's use this money? Because you see, you alone, you spend 3.656 million that was supposed to go to the victims. Who is this that consulted and allowed you to spend this money?
Thank you. It is your turn to respond.
I'm really sad about the whole incident because according to me, I thought the fundraising money had been given out to the victims. I didn't know it was still around. So when a meeting was called on 18th, I was surprised that we are discussing sharing of victims' money. According to me, the county government has an emergency funds under finance, which I expected them to use to pay for these services. So this thing which came on 18th, I don't know how it came until
maybe they do comment, they do raise an alarm during the said meeting that you are the secretary. And number two, you have also a different case to answer maybe after this, the one for forgery, because you indicated Honorable Daniel Rob that he did prayed in the same meeting that you were the secretary, and you indicated in your minutes that he prayed, and you are now saying you are also surprised to be called to a meeting to share the money that was meant for Londiani, yet you knew it had been dispersed long time ago. Now when you sat, get a pen, get a book, to write minutes of the same. Did you raise an alarm that we are not supposed to be discussing victims' money? And number two, why did you choose to write the name of Daniel Rob to have prayed? You need to tell us now who prayed. And number two, was Rosemary present? Was CC for Education, Judith Chirchir present? Kindly, we need, I know you had tried to answer, but we need clarity now because Bwana Secretary, I'll consider you now as Bwana Secretary. You used the pen, you took the book, you took the notes, you wrote the minutes. Thank you.
One question, Mr. Alphonse. When did you know that the Londiani fundraiser money has been misappropriated? When was it? And if you knew that it was misappropriated on this date, I remember very well, and it is on record, the two gentlemen from Supershine talked of you making a call to them to your office on 21st or 23rd. You told them, come and pick your payment, and you gave them a check in your office. Did you know the check was from which bank account, or you just paid them?
Because we are, I don't know which one to start with. Majority leader. The CECs which I mentioned here, were coming for another meeting to prepare to receive the president when he was coming to open the dam. Since I don't have a secretary in my place, this minutes was typed by the secretary to the CS, which we are sharing. I was expecting these minutes to be brought back to me for any corrections before it was used. I was surprised at the speed at which it went to the next step.
Let me request you. Let me request you.
Yes.
Let me request you. We have a minutes on 20th, whereby you are taking minutes.
Yes.
Member present is Dr. Wesley Bor, Leonard Ngetich, Honorable Bill Brenda, Honorable Edna Tonui, Honorable Chirchir Judith. You'll confirm to me whether that they were there.
Not even confirming whether they were there.
Yeah.
That meeting was not there.
This meeting was not there?
Yes. I attended only one meeting.
Okay. I think members, you should now get attention here. This is the minutes of a meeting that was held on Governor's Boardroom on 20th July at the county's headquarters. So, distribution of checks. Members present, Dr. Wesley Bor, you say that even this meeting was not there.
I saw they were like cut and paste. It's the same thing.
So, but I'm happy because this one, does not mention Jero Road and Wekesa. So it means that someone did it.
Yeah,
and Alphonse Rotich, CEO, Executive Office of the Governor, is taking minutes. You are the one also taking minutes to this.
I can tell you for a fact, Mheshimiwa, that meeting was not there.
This meeting was not there?
Yes.
So someone... So we have a lot of problem now in this country. Truthful man is taking now place.
So I can see Alphonse is very sincere. So you've been in place there to take minutes. You've seen, and you are seeing your sincerity here. So Alphonse, you say which one is at the right minutes, and you are answerable to who now in your office. Whom are you deliberating together?
In my office, I'm answerable to Dr. Bor, who is the chief county secretary.
Okay, yes. Continue.
I'm waiting for him to answer my question.
Okay, you may repeat. You know, he forgot, and he normally takes minutes. I don't know why right now he cannot take a single question. Thank you, Dora.
Sorry, Chair. Alphonse, the two gentlemen from Supershine said that you called them to come and pick their payment in form of a check. According to you, which bank account was that from? Which account were you paying from? Number two, Supertrix director said that you were so categorical that he doesn't want any job from IFMIS. But you went ahead and assured him that there is some money. We are going to pay this on time because he's been doing business with the county government of Kericho for some time. And he's been frustrated with the payments. But this tender was a bit special because you told him, this job, there is money. We will pay you on time. From which bank account or which money were you talking about?
And,
thank you.
Okay. And the last one,
Okay, maybe you can ask and then you'll answer
all
the
of
two
them.
questions.
Now, I'm worried the truthful man before the committee on these issues now. You've said, you see, you've jumped 100 meters from these minutes held on 20th July 2023 at the county secretary of on issues of office on distribution of checks. And you see, I think the committee, I don't know whether you've noted that minute 320, 723, 2023, change of account signatories. And you know, this is an account purposely for donation that the signatory was Fernandez Corid and Leonardo T. Now, you change the minutes that is said to have been captured by you, that it was resolved that Dr. Wesley Kaibor, PAD, County Secretary, replaces Mr. Joel Kipsang Pate as a signatory of Kericho County Donation Account, Equity, Kericho Branch, where we will be getting all this money. You see, the committee, this is not a laughing matter because dissolving and changing account signatories in this case, and you see the owner of the minutes, the secretary of the minutes, is saying he was not part of these minutes. Don't you see that people are doctoring issues? They might be intending to steal from the government. Now, you change the signatory in a minute that has been owned and it has been signed by the county secretary himself, and the same rubber stamped by the county secretary, the county government of Kericho on 20th July 2023. Maybe, I think it is a matter of urgency now that this committee should write maybe to stop fast the change of the signatories. I think, Chair, you need to take this one very, very serious.
True.
And maybe if Alphonse can share whether, as the contents of these minutes been affected, or you saw these minutes for the first time today.
Yes.
So you don't know whether these things has been changed or not.
And the
So kindly, Chair, write to, I don't know now because the concerned person here is the county secretary who is changing the same. I think now this one you need to write to the governor himself that they stop the implementations of these minutes. Otherwise, we will come here again for the investigations of these things. Thank you very much, Chair.
True. Okay, hope you are noting, Abraham. Thank you. Who else? Mheshimiwa. Okay, I think those questions are so much. So can you answer them?
Yes, I was Honorable, I forgot the name. Dora. We were in a meeting where we were, you see, this process was going too fast because we were supposed to distribute checks on a Friday in Londiani. So I was told again, the way I am being sent, to go and collect money, collect checks in the cash office for distribution in Londiani and giving out to those suppliers. So I went personally. I even signed the delivery book. I collected those checks and called each one of them to come and take their checks. The remainder we took to Londiani.
In this case, Bwana Alphonse, in this case, you are now the one going to collect checks, and we have a department by the name Department of Finance, where they can dispute the checks. And from the office of the governor, you have just come from office of the governor, after even giving out direct tenders and purple contracts, you are now going to distribute checks. Bwana Alphonse, I can tell you one thing. It is only 3 days or 2 that County Secretary appeared before us. He assured us that even today, even to date, I don't know if you have just issued the money, that you have 600,000 for motorbikes. Kindly confirm to this committee, in your custody, in safe custody of Alphonse, kindly confirm to us whether that you have such amount in your custody.
I don't know how to put it, but I don't have any money.
Yes?
I don't have any money. I don't have any money with me.
So
there was no way I was being paid for anything or taking care of any money. I don't have a safe. I don't have a key. I don't have anything.
So in this committee, you want to confirm to us that Dr. Wesley Bor, who is the county secretary, lied to the committee that you are holding the cash for border and for the county commissioner.
I don't have any money.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes. Alphonse, yes. One, I will throw you to just a simple thing. Did you confirm what the contractor supplied in Londiani?
I didn't go to Londiani. I was here in Race.
But who confirmed the dome tent, decoration, stage, those things that was?
I would not know.
You don't know. But you are the one who processed the payment.
I requested finance to process.
You requested finance to process?
Yes, sir.
But in all standards that you know, when you do a requisition in a department, in return, you will be given a voucher to sign.
Yes, sir.
Yes. But in this case, it was more different.
If finance were paying, then they should be having the payments for just there.
So it is finance to tell us whether the payment vouchers was produced.
Yes, and whether all the relevant documents were attached. Because I just requested them for payment.
You requested them to pay Super 6 2.945.
Yes, as per the minutes and the letter from the county secretary.
Yes.
We requested them to pay for us.
So because at some level we are just still questioning ourselves whether that we are still in the same county or you just operate from other quarters. If you are not even deducting a tax from an invoice of a contractor, what does that mean? And two, if you are chief officer in charge of the office of the governor, you have an accountant, you have a procurement officer, but you don't consult them. Or the way that Wesley Board Daktari has taken you as a young person, you have taken also your staff as the junior people. Kindly confirm to this committee, because at some point, what is the role of that procurement officer in your department?
Mr. Chairman, when we requested Treasury to pay for us, we expected them to ask those questions and request for some information before they make any payments. If these things, if the money or the vote was in my department as the AIE holder, I would have asked all those questions. And some may have succeeded and some may not have succeeded. But when I request my colleague to pay for me, and he goes ahead to pay, I don't know.
Is it possible that you name your colleague in this case?
The chief of finance is called Gilbert B. CPA Gilbert B. Yeah.
CPA?
Gilbert B.
So you requested him to pay for the...
I didn't have the money in my office.
Okay.
Yes, so we requested to pay them, to pay for us.
So, and then Gilbert went ahead and introduced this thing where you are a person taking minutes in a cabinet, in this committee. You know, Gilbert is not appearing in the committee.
Yes.
So unless that was...
ECC was there.
Oh, the CC was there and he was representing the whole department.
Yes, as the head of Treasury.
As we wind up.
Thank you. Happened that I have two microphones. Thank you. Maybe just to inform Honorable Member Matthew, Fernandez confirmed that Chirchir, the cashier, is holding the money for the motorbikes, not Alphonse. But the previous, the county secretary, directed that the money which has not been dispersed is under your custody. So it was a matter of clarification, though we haven't confirmed, because now the county secretary was directing that you are with the money, and you have appeared before us confirming that you don't have the money. Unless we find also Jirjir to confirm on the same, if he is possessing the money or the money is nowhere to be seen. Maybe my question is, the director of race confirmed to this meeting that you had procured for 350 people previous. On the day, the due day, you call the same that the number has reduced to 100. What made you not to inform these people who erect the tents also not to erect, because you had informed them to erect the tents of 350? What made you not to inform them? When you inform the race, you could have also informed these people for the tents to erect a tent accommodating only 100 people?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The request to raise and the 10 people was done on that. Up to the evening, we were there in race. And at that time, the information we had was we are hosting 350 people. So I left at around 9 p.m. to my house. In the morning, at around 9, I received a call. Actually, I was going to the office, thinking everything is okay. I received a call from the PA of Dr. Bor that it has been decided that the deputy governor is not coming to raise. His bill arrangements has been done elsewhere.
Is it the deputy governor?
The deputy president, sorry, I beg your pardon. We have been informed that the deputy president is not coming, is no longer coming to raise. And as such, he has arranged his own lunch, he has another lunch arrangements elsewhere. So could I please go and make those adjustments accordingly? But there will be some few people who may come for lunch afterwards. So I asked, how many people do you think will come? I was told they reduce them to 100. So when I went to raise it around 10, we discussed with the manager, and everybody was very sad, including me, who is delivering the bad news. So they said they have bought food, they have done this, but anyway, they agreed to scale it down to 100 people. The tents were already erected because those guys worked overnight. They wanted everything to be ready the following day. So when I asked them that the visitors will not be 350 but 100, they say you will still have to pay because we have done our job. The tents are ready for your use. Whether you use them or not, you pay. So there was no way the tents could have been dismantled and reduced. So they left the tents there to finish the number of hours they usually give us. They usually give out because I've dealt with them once. Then they removed them in the evening and went.
Thank you. Do you have, after you are given that the number has reduced to 100, do you know who are these people who are supposed to take lunch? Did you manage to have the list? Or anybody could come and say that the lunch which was arranged here, we can take it?
No, we had some people in mind, some categories of the visitors who are supposed to come. So and I was there personally. I received the first group. Then when the list, when it reached 100, is when we closed the ceremony and I went back to the office. The list was attached to the documents taken to finance for payment.
The list of the 100 people?
Yes.
They were signing when they were taking lunch?
Yeah. When they were coming in, they signed.
Is it possible that you can present to this committee?
The list was attached with the documents which were taken to finance for payments. So maybe those people will be having the copy.
Okay, thank you. As we wind up, Mheshimiwa Maritim.
Yes, Alphonse. Wakati mliongea na director Sopatrix, akakwambia mimi sitaki mambo ya if miss. Ukaambia kuja tu bado utalipwa. Ulikuwa umeona wapi mahali 3 million itatokea? Sababu umesema on your own submission umesema there was no budget. Alafu mtu wa Sopatrix akakwambia mimi sitaki mambo ya if miss. Ukaambia kuja tu bado utakulipa. Hiyo 3 million ulikuwa umeona wapi?
Let me make the same clarification which I has made. Because the director of Supertrix, I told you he has a very low opinion of me. So they usually talk with my bosses. It is very rare for him to make a call to me. So when he says he called me or I called him to bring the tents, I don't think that was possible. Because I've dealt with the person before.
Alphonse, was the tent used in raise the one erected by Supershine?
I think the tents were used sparingly, maybe about 4 or 5 tables only, because the people were less.
So the 100 people used the tent?
the people were coming in shifts, but they used the tents in eating because there was no other place. Ray's place is a very small hotel.
But the manager confirmed to us that they had also erected a different tent for their own visitors because the Super Shine tent and their own order of 100 people was different, or it was the same.
You see, in the compound, the Rays have small tents, some small white tents, which you have only seats. I think it's fit for meetings only. But this one of Super Shine was erected with tables. I think I took some pictures of the. You want to see them?
Yes.
Kindly.
I took a picture. I also wanted to enjoy the lunch, but I was a very sad person that day.
Okay. Thank
because
you.
of the cancellation.
Chair, proceed.
Thank you. So, as we check the very beautiful photos for that particular day, is there anyone who has, okay, Mheshimiwa Majority Emeritus.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair, for the opportunity. Alphonse, welcome to this interactive session. I have two or three questions, and I think it is 101. First, Alphonse, are you aware of the fundraising which was held at Londiani? Were you aware? Secondly, are you aware of the intended purpose of the fundraising? Thirdly, the fundraising which was held at Londiani, was it mean for the county government? Was it meant for the victims? And on general, in your general opinion, what was the intended purpose of the fundraising? I want you to answer that, and then I pose another 3 more questions.
Madam Chair, I was aware of the fundraising, and I was aware of the purpose, which was to assist the victims of the accident. What I was not aware of was after the fundraising, I didn't know the money was still there up to the 18th of July. I didn't know.
Okay. You say you are aware it was for the victims. For what in victims?
Okay.
Said you are aware the fundraising was for the victims. For what for victims to use in what way?
We asked that question in our offices. The purpose of the fundraising was to help the survivors and help in funeral arrangements for those who lost their loved ones. So, using the same method which the national government used, we were informed that usually fundraising money cannot go to compensation. So that if you lose a person, compensation usually comes after the court has ruled. So we asked how these people get compensated. So the fundraising money was only to ease the burden of pain, but not to compensate for the loss. Because we were told by our legal officer, the lorry which caused the accident.
The legal officer?
Is called Gideon.
Gideon.
I look for the other name. The compensation usually comes from court. And the lorry which caused the accident belongs to Rwanda. So he's under instructions to contact the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to see the legal way of bringing maybe the insurance of the lorry or what to court, maybe East African court or somewhere, so that the court can award a genuine compensation. But this one of fundraising, we were told only it is used to ease the pain of the victims and their families.
So in your general observation, the usage of money to offset the pay bills, to pay for the tents, was on a fair ground, or what can you say?
In my opinion, the use of the money, because as indicated earlier from my office, we were supposed to use our county money for this facilitation and not to share the victims' money. So in my opinion, I think there is something we're not, because when we were in the meeting, somebody asked that you didn't give that opinion in the meeting. You know, when my boss was chairing the meeting and he has just asked me, just take the minutes, I could not argue with him because he was chairing the meeting. You see?
Okay. Another question. On your own general observation, the reason why I'm asking you for general observation and general opinion is because, one, in the entire brigade of the county government of Kericho, Mr. Alphonse, you are the only most experienced person who has ever occupied a public office. I think I'm right. So, considering the fact that you are the most experienced and you are in the office of the governor, you are supposed to be the central person to advise any other person in there, to over advise. You know, the main role of a CC or a CEO, Mr. Alphonse, is there to advise the governor and to advise the office holder. That was the main purpose, to assist the governor. So being the most experienced person in the entire executive, I'm asking you this because I was expecting you to be the critical person in offering advices. These measures could not have been encountered if you played your role critically, because you are the most experienced person. You understand the roles and the operation of government. Isn't that so? So, although you want to shift the blame, I still want to hold you accountable because you are the most experienced. Nobody has experience in the entire cabinet apart from you. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So, so in that connection, Alphonse, what after considering that now you're advising that the bills of the tents, you had advised them to use the emergency funds. In your own general opinion, the medical expenditure incurred by the victims who are supposed to meet the expenses, and which area?
Thank you, Chair. In my opinion, the fundraising money, including even the contribution of the county government and even national government, should have gone exclusively to the aid of the victim, whether in medicine, whether in injuries and everything else. On the role of saying that you are an advisor, the position of an advisor is sometimes very tricky. You can advise, but the person making decision ignores your advice. I'm not saying my advice had been ignored before, but if you see how I wrote my minutes here, when I wrote minutes to the CEO of Finance, I told him very clearly, kindly consider paying this under the emergency fund. Because in my opinion, fundraising money goes directly to the victim. Now, the other issue is the ratio of expenditure more went to luxurious issues than the victim themselves, which is I also feel very bad. I don't feel good. I started feeling bad when the emergency funds were not used and a meeting was called by the committee to subdivide the fundraising money. I started feeling bad there.
So in your own opinion, you can tell this committee there was an oversight by the committee in courts on the usage of the money. I think that is what you can say.
We can say that.
So, in other words, the usage of this fundraising to offset some bills, medical fees was not bad, but more went to luxurious. That is what you can say.
Yes, I can say that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bwana CEO Alphonse. Now, I want to take you back to Super Trick Company, Super Shine Company, that offers hospitality. Kindly tell us the relation between the two. That is one question. Two, how many times have you worked with these two companies? Thank you.
Okay, can I answer? From what I know, these two companies are not related. They are owned by two different people. So they are not related at all. Now, as I said, I'm very sure of that. Secondly, we have worked with Super Treks before. When I came to the office of the governor, they had a payment of a pending bill. So I've worked with him before, we can say that. Super Shine, I was seeing them that day on 3rd of July in Raise for the first time. I've never seen them before.
Okay, Chair, I have a comment. Bwana Alphonse, I think the way Honorable Sharon have just put it is that you are the only experienced person in that county, but I might not be tell because one, I have a belief that governor is the most experienced person in this county since that he was elected by many voters. Yet nakakuja kukupea kazi. Bwana Alphonse, you say that you were wondering why was this amount is being used to pay tents, to pay other things. But you let the governor to come to press and tell the public that the money is intact. The tents are not being paid. Yet, during the meeting that you sat down and take minutes on behalf of the old committee members, that is the time that you managed to approve everything and it was paid on 21st of July. Why did you allow the governor to come to press and tell the public that the money is intact, yet you knew very well that the money was not intact?
Before you answer, I think you combine with this one as we end.
Okay, let me combine. Mine is very short. There's something that you said in this meeting that I believe on my side it should be captured very well. And again, maybe the chair will give out a ruling that the minutes for 20th July did not exist. This is a very serious thing, because this is the minutes that captures payments that were made. So maybe later, the chairman, I'm requesting that maybe we'll make a ruling on these minutes, and again, on the issues of border and the money that you said you never received. Thank you.
That minutes so that even the other one for 18, you know, other CCs have shared with us their evidence, confirming that they were not in that even premises. And they were telling us they were sitting within the meeting, but they were planning for the visit their president. So you need also to take affidavit to confirm. So you need to swear affidavit on that to confirm that this minutes is not generated from the meeting, that it was not there, I think.
Thank you. Your chance now to answer.
Yes. A member asked about the advice to the governor, to His Excellency the Governor. In government cycles or operations, there is something called the chain of command. So there is somebody between me and the governor, and he had the same information. So I believe he must have told him. Because below the governor, there is the county secretary, then it is me. So since we were in the same meeting, Yeah, I expect them to approve His Excellency the Governor on the same. Because there is also the
but
deputy.
Alphonse, you will allow me, the chairman, to mention this. In fact, in our culture, there is a word that, let me put it in our language. It will be interpreted later to English or Kiswahili by the answered guys. Alphonse, kogile name yongeger kaya magos. Agigas. Nigas agiyay agiger kotengek tatugul. Alphonse, can you tell us? Otegeger na geiber abinik chebo raya chikabo arambe agimiten row imaje imutech rounds. We know you have experience. Inge kele itinye experience. Lakini tell us, Alphonse. Kokilame mumiat ni koger ni koyoe ak ni kagas.
Mheshimiwa Hezron, give it to Mheshimiwa Hezron.
Yeah, you were saying something. What in that meeting, what was you discussing, and then what did you tell the committee?
No, in the meeting of the 18th, I was just called in to take minutes. Because my senior, the person I report to, was chairing. Yes. So I was not even contributing to the deliberations. The members of the committee are different. I was just taking minutes.
Who are in that meeting?
Yeah, we have read the names here.
Just say, to be in record.
Dr. Wesley Borum was chairing.
Yes.
Honorable Joseph Chirorot, MP, Kipkelion East. Honorable Leonard Ngetich, CCE, CCM, Finance and Economic Planning. Honorable Brenda B, who was CEC for Health. And then there was my colleague called Betsy Chepe, CEO Lands, and Mr. Wekeso Simihu, Assistant County Commissioner. And I was there taking minutes.
So what was the main agenda of that meeting that day? Or the agendas of that meeting that
The agenda was identifying the people to be paid from the fundraising kitty. Yeah. I put it briefly.
So in that meeting already you had they had already offset other bills. Now the money remaining was now to give to the victims, or what?
No, what I understand was that we were discussing about the whole amount which we collected from the fundraising, including the M-Pesa payments, M-Pesa money which was made. Yes.
Okay. So in that meeting, after now, so even Chiroros was present in that meeting?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So in that meeting, you all agreed that in the entire money, you will go to pay tents, you're going to pay hospital, you're going to pay border, and what have you, in that meeting?
Exactly.
Okay. I
We
think
did not agree. The members agreed.
Agreed.
Yes.
So the entire team which you have read out was there in that meeting, and they approved the usage of that money
for these particular items.
Then I think I am convinced, Jim.
Thank you. And I think the issue of time, we still have some people who are outside.
Maybe
as we wind up, please, Mheshimiwa Peter.
Maybe for clarification from the secretary of the meeting, I've never heard of Edna Tonui. Was she in the meeting? She was not there. Maybe with the information you have, maybe they inserted other people who are not supposed to be here, and they left other people who are supposed to be here. Can you confirm that there are some members who are in the meeting and they are not included in these minutes?
No.
No.
Everybody was included.
So the one you have given us are the right people?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So,
I can, maybe I have something.
okay, you can say, and then you give us your parting shot, and then we will give the instructions later. Thank you.
So with the minutes, because they were not being typed in my office, I don't have a secretary. They were being typed somewhere, and I expected them later to be brought back to me to check if there's errors. But I think the person who did it quickly and gave it to the county secretary, and it went direct to finance department, so passing me, because I would have detected the errors and rectified.
Your parting shot, that is, you are done?
Maybe the last thing I say is that the incident is regrettable, but I'm happy that we have renewed our acquaintance again after my interview when I was looking for a job as a chief officer.
Okay, thank you, Chief Officer Alphonse. Maybe this is for your personal consumption, that on the 4th of July 2023, there was a fundraiser in Londiani. A total of an approximate of 14.5 million, according to the findings of this committee, was fundraised. A tune of 9 million went to expenditures, and a tune of 5 million went to victims. Considering the purpose of the fundraiser, it was for purposes of the baseline, and the purpose and the reason of that fundraiser was to cater for funeral expenses and to compensate the victims. So the expenditure took the largest share vis-a-vis what went to the purpose. So thank you so much. Concerning these minutes, maybe you are required to serve this committee with a sworn affidavit of the same, that indeed Mr. Alphonse Rotich, Chief Officer, Executive Officer of His Excellency the Governor, was not taking these minutes, and no meeting was held, because these minutes facilitated withdrawal of 100,000 instead of 69,000 on this 4th of expenditure. On behalf of this committee, we are so grateful. Thank you for the information you have offered. Thank you for honoring our invite. In any case, we would need any information regarding the same. We still welcome. So maybe how soon would you get us the affidavit? Do you have the copy of this? No copy. So what we will do, Sergeant at Arms, I think, do we have this copy in our files? So we can give this one to Alphonse to attach, to study, and if in any case you own, kindly make note on top of it and get back to us. In case you disown, let the committee get a sworn affidavit on the same. So we want to wish you well. Thank you so much. God bless you as you discharge on your new mandate on the remaining hours of today. Sergeant at Arms, kindly usher Mr. Alphonse out. Thank you so much.
With us here, Gilbert, we have come to a deliberation concerning issue of Londiani, where some money was raised and was deposited to account. Kindly, can you confirm to us which account was that fundraising money deposited to or credited to? If it is possible, let's have answers directly so that we can go in that manner. Can you confirm us to which account?
Thank you, Mheshimiwa Matthew. And through the chair, I think when money was collected, it was deposited to a collection donation account with the county government. That is at Equity Bank.
Okay. Can you confirm that this Kericho County donation account is part of the accounts that we have for the county government?
Thank you, Matthew, and Honorable Matthew, and through the chair. Yes, I confirm it's part of the accounts that usually it's supposed to be. It's under the list of the county government accounts.
Okay, thank you. That account number is 0280263407182. I think that is the account for Equity Bank. The way you understand, after raising that money, it was meant for the victims and there's people we lost. But immediately that the money is credited to a county account, what next when the money is credited to an account that belongs to the county government?
Thank you, Mheshimiwa Matthew, and to the chair. I think if you look at section 48 and 47, if you read section 47 and 48 of the PFM Act, it guides on now grants or donation needs to be administered. But to this one, it was on specific, if you see that section 47 and 48, it only stipulates donation with regards to development. And it was...
Okay. I have a question. Mm-hmm. Was the money raised in Londiani, was it donation? Was it what? Why do you need to term it as a donation? Is it because it is deposited under donation account?
I was because I was answering based on the question you had raised earlier on regards that the money was deposited to a donation account. That is it.
Okay, but was it a donation really?
No, it was a fundraising. For specific purpose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I have a question again under the same PFM Act that you have referred us to, number 48 and 47 and 48. When you want to make a payment in county government, what are the documents required for you to process a payment, either to a supplier or a DSA or an impress to a staff? What are the requirements?
The requirements basically, you have to, there must be a requisition.
Requisition, then?
Once there's a requisition, that must be approved.
Approved?
When it has been approved by the concerned chief officer or an officer, it is now marked to the accounts for processing.
Accounts for processing, and then?
Then from accounts, that's where now they raise what we call a BFE, a payment voucher.
Payment?
Voucher.
Voucher.
Then it's now raised into the system for to follow the other process of payment.
And then system?
Then if funds are available, you make the payment.
Okay, in this case, we have the funds. In this case, we have the funds. You have said that in case that the money is available, but in this case, we have the funds.
I'm talking from the aspect of what I usually do on my daily basis with regards to IFMIS. Okay. But in this other aspect, I'm nonetheless, I'm asked to specific areas I can answer.
Okay, we have a minute here that on 18 July, but in the minutes you are not present. The minutes that we have with us here, you are not present. But we are being told by the people who have appeared before this committee, one being the CEO governance and CFO, that Mr. Leonard Ngetich was appearing on behalf of the finance department. There is a budget here that was approved. We have a budget here that was approved of Kericho Referral Hospital, 2,37,524. Do you have the minutes? Okay. We'll go one by one. You are confirming that at Kericho Referral Hospital's treatment and medication, 2,37,524. You are confirming that you paid as the finance person?
I'm not, what I can only say from this, let's start from here. For payment to be made, it must be requested. And in this case, specifically to that specific...
Bonasio, you'll allow me to take you through these questions, because when you want to set question for me, you'll be taking us back. I want to confirm whether that this approved 2,037,525, it was paid or was not paid.
The check was raised, but it was not paid.
Okay, 2. And then 1,534,190?
The check was raised and not paid.
Okay, 2,945,000. This one is for tents and chairs.
It was raised and paid.
Okay, it has the requisition?
The request from the respective department is there.
Request for the department?
It was coming from the office of the CS to the CC in charge of finance.
Okay, for purposes of continuity, we were proceeding very well. I wish that Honorable Matthew proceeds with the questions so that we don't consume a lot of time. Matthew, proceed.
I think I'm satisfied, Chairman, with answers from the witness. Thank you so much.
Okay, Honorable Korir.
Chair, maybe welcome first, and I would like to ask you that do you understand about the donation account as a chief officer in finance? This account received some money, and I believe you understand that you know all the accounts that has been opened on behalf of the county. Did you know the amount of money that was received on a specific date before the money was dispensed? Number 2, when you are doing payments in the county of whatever sort, what is the first thing that you put in mind? For example, do you consider if it followed procurement procedures? Number 2, I would also like to know from you, because you are from finance, and it's good for you to inform this committee, how much is the emergency fund that we have maybe this financial year? And when you talk about the donations, I will mention that it was specified to go to fund, it was fundraising. Do you have any guidelines that maybe you can advise people who are spending the money, or those people who spend the money, on the regulations that are supposed to guide expenditure of money of that sort, whether it is fundraising or whether it is donation? Again, I would also like to hear your view, because I think that, Chairman, that could have been the first instance, so that we understand what do you understand about the whole issue. Thank you.
Chairman, I don't know, I just entered in late, Chairman. I don't know whether the chief officer has answered or whether anyone of you has posed the question. You see, immediately after the fundraiser that was done in Londiani, the person that had been marked to escort the money, together with G4S, I think if Matthew can assist us, I get that letter, because there was a letter. Mine is to confirm whether I had seen the name of the chief officer of finance. I haven't been given the for that money from the time it was escorted? And maybe another question, where did you take the money? If you are the one who escorted the money together with G4S, where did you took the money? And immediately, can I continue, Chairman?
Yeah, proceed.
And if you took the money, you are the one, and there is a name appearing under your name that you are supposed to escort together with the G4S, the company that had been contracted to move money from Londiani fundraiser ground. So you are in charge. I don't know now, where did you took this money? That should be my first question, Chairman, if no one else had asked. And maybe if you are not in copy of the same letter, I will kindly request maybe if one of us has got maybe their files, they can read.
We have the letter of the same.
Can you read?
You wish to read the letter? It is dated 3rd of July 2023. Request for security and G4S to transfer the donation money, and subject matter refers. The Deputy President, His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, will be leading a memorial service fundraiser to support the road traffic accident victims in Londiani. Money will be used for the purpose of settling hospital bill and funeral expenses. Transport will be required as from 11 a.m. In Londiani town ground on Tuesday, July 2023. The contact person will be CPA Gilbert B, Chief Officer for Finance and Economic Planning. Or phone number, I don't wish to read your phone number, 0722 251 706. Can you confirm it's your phone number? What can you say? The letter is from Dr. Wesley Bor, County Secretary and Head of County Public Service.
Another addition, Chairman, maybe for him now, after reading the same letter, there is a budget for the transportation of that money. And in the minutes of 18th of July, it is not captured anywhere that those people will be paid. Where were these contractors that had been contracted service to transport and provide security for the same amount? It was to be paid from which kitty? I don't know whether you are aware. If you are aware, kindly let this committee knows that immediately G4S transport that money from the fundraiser ground. Where did they? The first question now, maybe to make it clear, where did you took the money? Because we are seeing you as a contact person there. Number two, this service provider of transporting and providing security for the purpose of that money, where the kitty that he was paid from, because from the minutes of 18, we have not seen the same G4S captured, and we've not seen the checks, because we've seen the checks that was meant to pay service providers like those of tents, like those of food, like those of refreshments. But this one for G4S, we've not seen a copy of check, but unless Honorable Matthew can confirm, we've not seen the check paying G4S. So maybe if you are aware, because you see that is money and you have money yourself by the virtue of occupying that office, you will explain to this committee. Thank you.
And maybe on that note, how much was the total amount collected in Londiani? Because no one else could really tell us the correct figures, both on cash. Yes, the counting process, where did it happen?
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Honorable Majority Leader. To answer on that letter that was written by the County Secretary to the bank requesting for security, and I was placed as a contact person, meaning being a contact person is to be a link between where the G4S, where the Wells Fargo was supposed to start and where they're supposed to end.
But the letter is G4S.
Pardon?
You are now bringing in another client. I think the letter is specifically indicated that it is G4S.
But from the, I'm saying so because if you have a look at the statement, the bank statement, I'm privy of that bank statement because I saw in the payment was Wells Fargo. and the bank can confirm if it was G4S or Wells Fargo. I'm explaining on the aspect of being the link between now the G4S and the bank. And I must say, I was placed as a link person between G4S and Wells Fargo and the bank, meaning I was to coordinate to tell them the exact place where the fundraising was happening, so that for them to be there and collect the funds. And in this case, I call it unfortunate because on that same night, on that, myself, I felt I was sick. I felt sick. And in the morning, I was heading to the hospital. At around 7:30, I got a call from the bank myself that G4S are ready, Wells Fargo are ready. Then now what you need to think to pick is the seals. The seals and the seals because for bank to accept anything that comes to their bank, they provide for you a seal. I'm a banker myself, and I know for you, you can't accept anything that comes outside and sell unless there is a seal. So in that case, the bank called me in the morning. I passed by the bank, that was Equity Bank. I picked the seals. And I looked for Wasiri, and I told him, for me, I'm not feeling well. I handed over the seals, and I immediately contacted again the bank, and I told them I wouldn't be the link person.
Are we that the seals that you were given in the bank in the morning, it was the same seals that were used from Londiani to the bank?
And
how sure are we?
Okay, allow me to clear so that I can explain from that.
CPA Kidogo, on addition on what Matthew asked, who identified the bank first where this money is supposed to be banked? Because before Equity Bank called you, why is it that it's not KCB, it's not Marisha, it's not this other bank? Why is it that it had to be Equity that called you? Who identified that immediately after fundraiser, the money is to be brought to Equity? Who identified before the Equity called you? Who called or who informed that this money should be banked in Equity? Who identified?
Okay, maybe to answer your question, Mheshimiwa, and through the chair, myself, I was not in the leaders meeting, and from my understanding, I think what also informed whoever identified Equity was under the creation of the pay bill. For a pay bill to be created, there must be account to link with. So I think maybe whoever requested for the pay bill saw it fit to have that to link it with that donation account. So that's why, and that donation account, by virtue or by the look of things, only happens to be in Equity Bank. And that's why the county secretary, who is also the head of public service, was now requesting Equity to provide security for that purpose, for that day of fundraising. So I was explaining that on that same morning, when I was called, I picked the seals and gave to Wasiri, who was attending the fundraiser. And to be sure and to be precise, Wasiri for finance. And I think this committee is also on record that when Wasiri appeared here on was it on Saturday or Friday, he brought the broken seals. And I've been working. I've worked before as in a bank, and I know when you are placing money in a box, usually the G4S says you have to have your own seals. So for instance, I make an assumption that Wasiri placed the seals. Now the G4S now records there is a delivery book. They record the seal number, and they sign against, and also inform the person who was sealing to also sign his part. But now the person who is going to now break the seal is not the same person that was locking the seal. I think that is it. So to confirm, there was someone at the bank who was broken that seal, and that was also one of the staff of the county government, that is CPA Nancy. Also, Wasiri said the staff was there to confirm. Nancy, yeah, our accountant.
Was the money, where was the money counted?
At the bank.
At the bank?
Yeah.
What was the total amount?
Pardon?
the total amount?
From the slips that the staff delivered, and he also gave to Asiri when he was making this presentation, it was 13,653,660. That was collected on that same day. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Chair, I have a question. I'm on mic, Chairman.
Emergency funds. Chair, if we can go procedurally, I did ask some questions that I need satisfactory answers. On one, I hope you wrote the donation account, whether it has some guidelines, the procurement procedures, whether it was followed when payments were made. And number three, I would like to know the status of emergency funds. Thank you.
To answer your first question, Mheshimiwa, on the donation account, if it is if it has some guidelines on how that account is being operated, I think Mheshimiwa had answered earlier that the PFM, if you read together section 47 and 48, it gives the guideline on now a donation account with regards to development only. But now on specific donation that has specific purpose, the same PFM Act does not have a specific guideline. So in this case, because I have seen the records of that account, it was in the first place created into year 2014 for the purpose of investment. Then it was changed to Christmas. Then it came to now the donation account. But now this account, from my understanding, and meaning it was only created for specific purpose, which when it comes to 30th of every June, it's now the purpose. It's now the duty of the finance or the head of treasury to make a communication or declaration of whatever is in that account at that specific time, because that account is subject to audit.
Yes, the question is, you said it was meant for the purpose, which I can answer you. It was meant for the purpose of the victims, and it was supposed to support the victims, because you see the national government donated 20 million, which went to the victims directly. The members of the public, including us and Kenyans, donated 14 million, which we were expecting again to go and support the funeral activities. Was it really, was the money directed to where it was supposed to be directed? Now, again, even if there was no PFM, no guidelines, and there were no regulations, which kind of regulations did you borrow to use it so that you can be able to utilize the money in a very transparent way? Now answer, and then you can also proceed with the procurement procedure.
To answer your question, Mheshimiwa, I just want to be on record and inform this committee that finance department is only what we call a facilitation department. We only facilitate when it is required. The documentations originates from respective department, in this place or the user department. And in this case, I could say that the payment that was made was in request and backed by the minutes that the committee had and approved the expenditure at outline in the minutes that you also have from your hand. Once the department only receive an approved minute and there are some, there is proper documentation, that's where now the process starts for processing the payment.
Now, because I don't want to go far and ask more questions, who runs the, apart from the signatories, who is in charge of that account? Which kind of committee? Do you form a committee when money comes in, or there's a specific committee that normally runs that account?
There's no specific committee.
Thank you. Continue with the proposal.
And also on the issue of the budget for the emergency in this financial year, yes, there is an allocation of 15 million in this approved budget for 2023-2024. No, on the issue of procurement procedures, I think currently we don't have any framework in the county government, and for this matter, I think the best thing to do, or the best thing the chief officer in charge of the executive office of the governor was supposed to do was to follow the guideline when they are engaging the suppliers for that matter.
Thank you. You said follow the guideline. Now, with the emergency funds, did you advise the committee that there is availability of 15 million, which I know, in my understanding, emergency funds doesn't require if miss. And also it doesn't require, even if it's short, you can overdraw. Is it? Did you advise the team, because the money that is in the donation account was supposed to go to the victims? Did you advise them maybe to use emergency funds for tents and maybe hospital bills that were raised by the committee?
Thank you, Honorable Vincent, and through the chair. To answer your question, Mheshimiwa, on that same day, myself, I was not in the committee. To answer your question. Number two, you only give advice when you are requested to. But there is a situation, there was a committee, and the committee sat and made their deliberation. What I only do from my part is, in that committee, there was the head of the county treasury.
Okay, I want you, Bonasio, you have mentioned something that I need to get it on record. You have said that the office of the governor should have used the guidelines on matters procurement. Do you mean that they didn't even consider using the procurement methods that we have?
No, I was saying, because you know, whoever was in the lead person in the entire process was the chief officer in charge of the office of the governor. I was only answering based on whoever was in charge at that time.
Okay. The person who was in charge on this whole procurement that was done, it was the office of the governor. That is what you are telling us. That the person who was in charge was...
I'm saying the person who was in charge is chief officer in charge of the executive office of the governor.
The one, Alphonse?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And
but I want to know, who is the administrator in this account of donation? Now that you say that it is a special purpose account, who is the administrator to this account?
There is no administrator in that account.
And
because that is a donation account for only specific. That's why whenever there is a donation to that account, maybe if it was for investment, meaning there's a committee formed for the purpose of that investment. If it was trade exhibition, meaning if funds are to be received from donors, again, the department in charge need to have also formed a committee.
Chairman, additional question, and I think this should be the last one from my end. You said your Department of Finance is just a facilitation department. Who brought these minutes, vouchers, and everything to your desk for the purpose of payment? Because you must have, for the authorization, I know these accountants are under you. The signatories of the same account are under you. Who is this person who brought minutes, vouchers, for the purpose of you now maybe to give an okay for the payments?
Whoever delivered the invoices and the minutes to the Department of Finance, to our accountant, that was to CPA Fernandez, was one Alphonse Rotich.
Alphonse Rotich.
Yeah.
And now, Alphonse Rotich was before this committee, immediately, maybe before you. He said he is not the author of the said minutes. What do you have to say now? Because he is delivering minutes that from the what the minutes has captured is he was the secretary of the minutes. Now he said he was not even the secretary of those minutes, but he decided to hand over those minutes together with the vouchers to your desk. What do you have to comment about it?
Thank you, Majority Leader, and through the chair. I think before I start answering your question, I was under oath, and it is good when you also have moral and say things like this. I think it was only, what I can only commend is, it was unfair for him to disown what he dropped at the office of Fernandez, our chief accountant, meaning himself, if he was dropping the documents, meaning he didn't go through the document, which is absurd.
That's what I'm saying now. Can you kindly comment, because one, he said he did not order, because what the minute is capturing is that he was the secretary and the chair for that the chair for that meeting was one Dr. Wesley Bor. And Alphonse, I think Alphonse has left here around 30 minutes ago, if I'm not wrong. And he said, he disowned the minutes of 20th, he disowned the minutes of 18th. He said he was not privy, he did not order the same minutes. He said maybe it was doctored somewhere. But the same minutes that you used to pay or that you authorize your accountant, that is Fernandez Corrid, to use for payments, you are saying now it was stopped by this chief officer. Will you allow, if I will say now, this chief officer doesn't know what he's doing, because you cannot take minutes that is bearing your name for the purpose of payment, and you are saying you are not the author of the same minutes.
And I think for us as a department, once we receive a document, we must keep it in safe custody. We do a copy. And I am happy that when my chief accountant appeared in this committee, he produced the original document, the copy of the original document that we used to pay. And specifically, I take you to a memo that was written by CS Petsi to Honorable Leonard Ngetich. We don't have any. We don't have another that document that was that was present. We have the original one, which in this case that's the one we used to process the payment. Just to say what Moshimua had mentioned with regards to Alphonse disowning the minutes, meaning he was supposed to be responsible because he was under oath to make what is right to this committee.
Now, Chair, there is something that regarding the account, because I asked something and you mentioned that the account is a special purpose account. I believe you said something like that.
Thank you for information. I said this account is a donation account, but now the funds that gets into that account, we usually refer to as for specific purpose money.
Which is special purpose account.
So if today, yes, the county government of Kericho organizes what we call a trade exhibition, that account can be used to collect money from the well-wishers or the sponsors or that specific matter. Then again, if the department that was running that trade shows was the department, let's say, of trade, so the department of trade will be now responsible on who should authorize the kind of payments that should be drawn from that account.
Now who is the administrator?
Pardon?
Who is the administrator of that account now, if you term it as special purpose account?
It's not a special purpose account.
Okay,
it's a donation account, which also has 3 signatories.
There is the issue of procurement procedures. You see, the procurement, public procurement and disposal account 2015 regulations supersedes the county procurement procedures. Have you ever tried to go through it so that you can now use the public procurement procedures 2015?
From the department that I ran myself, I've gone to the BPDA Act of 2015, and I usually emphasize to my procurement officer in charge of finance that we need to follow that guideline. And each and every accounting officer in their respective departments, they have a copy of the same BPDA Act. Okay. I wasn't the one procuring the. Pardon? When you're only making payments, you only do as per the attachments and the minutes.
But was the document attached, Buanasio, was it sufficient for you? Were you satisfied with the document, that this document is to the standard for you to pay as the department?
Before the accountant raises a check, it must have followed met the requisite threshold for to make a payment.
Another thing, Buanasio, I know you have worked with Kericho County government for the last, let's say, 1 year or 10 months. But I understand that all procurement officers and all the accountants for all departments are under you, are under Department of Finance. If you have gone through and you have been advising your department procurement officers to stick to the regulation of the PPRA, is that procurement officer in the office of the governor is not among those who have been, whom you have been telling them to stick to the rules?
And thank you, Mr. Matthew, and through the chair. The next question you need to ask ourselves is, did the chief officer in charge of the executive office of the governor engage the procurement officer in charge of that department?
He confirmed that.
Which the answer is no.
Yes. So this work was done by the chief officer in the office of the governor alone, only to submit documents to you for facilitation purpose.
Exactly.
Thank you so much. I wish to give to Honorable Eric B. to proceed with the question.
Thank you, Chair. My question is directly to Gilbert. Gilbert, kindly, was there any minute recommended to you for payment through the Department of Office of the Governor by Alphonse, directing you or recommending that you use the emergency kit to pay, to make some payment? Because we have understood that this money, which was collected through a fundraiser, it belonged to the victim and the deceased. Now, during the questions asked to Alphonse, CEO Governance, he said that since he's the chief officer in charge of the department, he actually gave advisory to the department that can you utilize the emergency kit? And thereafter, and then during that, in the same case, you return back that we used the fundraiser kit. So kindly confirm to this house that whether you got the recommendation from the office of Alphonse. Number two is that there is this withdrawals, whereby there was a push and pull. Some saying that the office of Alphonse has the money. That was through the chief office, through the CS, Dr. Bor. He actually said that the person who has money, 600 belong to Boda is the Alphonse. I need you to confirm where is the cash stored. Is it in your department, finance, through cash office or the office of? He has to confirm, or to the office of Alphonse. So make us give us a clarity on the same. The two, whether you got the recommendation from Alphonse, and also whether the cash which were withdrawn is domiciled in your department in a cash office, because you have a strong room in the Department of Finance. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable B. And through the Chair, to answer your first question on...
Chairman. In joint, CEO, thank you so much for this opportunity. Wanted to inquire mainly about this fundraising money. You've said it was actually deposited into the county donation account. As a CPA in this county, who is the CEO Finance, what was the prudent advice you could give to these people who are really bringing money from the area in which the fundraising was ongoing? I was thinking this money was supposed to be totally different with county accounts. I would have thought that this money could have been even been deposited to an account which can be created new and given a name that it is just a fundraising kitty before you start appropriating this money to various causes which are really which you really wanted to do. Now, as a chief officer, I don't know whether you took an initiative to advise them not to link this money with the county accounts, because wherever we are going through now is just but a problem which is, it was outside the county, but it is already intermingled with county accounts, which is almost acting as a fundraiser was meant for county donation, which of course it has made the total mess. Please kindly see on.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa Ngetich. Just to start with the question asked by Mheshimiwa B through the chair, you are referring to a memo that it was from Medica to Alphonse, which was received in the Department of Finance.
Yes.
If you have a look at note 1, the chief officer in charge of that is Alphonse wrote to me and says, CEO Finance, kindly consider this after emergency. Then on the same
under emergency.
Under emergency fund.
Consider this under
emergency. Then the same person, Alphonse, again responded and said after consultation, it was decided to be paid from the fundraising kitty.
No, that one was recommended, was a memo on 4th.
It was 5th actually.
5th.
Mm.
So it took 2 weeks. That memo came to our office immediately on 4th. So what did you do as a chief officer in charge of finance? Yes? Yeah, confirm to us. Confirm.
From my end, what I can only recall, as I had stated earlier before, and I should be straight and factual. On that same, as earlier stated, on 4th myself, I wasn't feeling well. But when this letter was received in the Department of Finance on the 6th, before then, I got a call from Alphonse. He told me there's a letter he has stopped and he'd want to make payments with regards to the supply of delivery of the tents under emergency. The only advice I gave it to him, the guideline that guides emergency fund, that is the Emergency Fund Act of 2014, stipulates how that funds need to be administered. It would only use that fund between a period of at the scene of the accident. If the issues of the fuel or the ambulances, if the issues of maybe buying, if there was issues of gloves and the likes, the funds could have been necessary at that time. But again, after the 72 hours, the emergency fund cannot be used.
But that was a verbal communication. You see, it is prudent as a chief officer in charge of finance to amend your comments on the same, because now
myself, Mheshimiwa, and I just want us to be factual. The same document that was received in my office was again returned by him. If you have a look at this copy, it's the original copy that was received. So I will have marked the same document. Because myself, I was in the office on 8th.
He said that on 18th, when there was a memo.
Because on 19th, he himself say after the consideration, meaning as per the minutes, these minutes, Mheshimiwa, meaning these minutes was the committee sat on 18. And he again appended this signature on 19 and say after deliberation, meaning the other deliberation that supersedes whatever advice I had given him via phone call.
But you see, CEO, this is fundraiser money. And of course, if the money was not available by then, there was no hurry. You could have said, now let's wait the appropriation from the budget committee in the assembly so that you can utilize the other fund, than leaving the comments hanging. You've not given a prudent advisory because you are the advisor. And of course, all this exercise was geared towards a disaster. And of course, when it comes to a disaster, there is a fund for disaster, probably in your token or a PSM. So we expected you to have give an advisory the same, that we should not utilize the fundraiser money in payment of the same contractors.
Which I gave that advisory, Mheshimiwa. The only challenge was the same document had already been taken back. Number 2, Mheshimiwa, and through the chair. At times it's good as for also to be factual and be precise. If I know I'm engaging you as a tent provider, as a service provider, Mheshimiwa, let me use Mheshimiwa Matthew today. And I know Matthew has always been supplying the county government for the last 4 years. And today we have emergency. We need to erect tents at a specific place. If I know Matthew can understand how that process has been doing for the county, I would have approached Matthew and talked to him and give him that assurance. Then again, come and deliberate and say we make these funds against a different kitty. If you already had that kind of feeling or had, there's a way you can negotiate with the supplier. If you have been in constant supply with that supplier.
Maybe CEO, on this matter here, the request is for the supply and delivery for items for county government function. I want you to underline that. County government function. Considering that before then we have had a prayer session that tents were erected in that matter. True? So, the same, how did you facilitate it for the tents, for the prayer rally that we had sometimes back at Green Stadium? Because equally the same, it was a county government function. And for these two, however much it was a fundraiser for the victims, the request is clearly indicated. His Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, was coming to Kericho County. So we need to own the event as a county, right? Before even the fundraiser is done, we need to own the event. How have you doing it before? And why did you not do for this case?
As I earlier mentioned, that's why I was using an example of Mheshimiwa Matthew, that if he has been supplying the county government for the last 4 years, the best approach could have been we approach to him and talk to him that let's have this kind of suppliers with this kind, but the payment will come at a later date. That could have been the best approach. But in this case, I can't discuss more because already, if you see that the memo was coming from Medica to the CEO Alphonse, so I don't know how he handled it himself.
Okay.
I was saying how I could have handled myself.
Through the chair.
So, Honorable Matthew, just a minute. So, Alphonse decided to engage a non-pre-qualified supplier with the county government of Kericho to offer a service in after making comments. We realized that there are comment 1 and comment 2 on this same letter that is from him, that is kindly consider using emergency kit, I guess. Then secondly, after consultation, it was decided to be paid with fundraiser kitty, right? So according to you, it would have been prudent for him to engage an already pre-qualified supplier of this service, so that now that we were in the close of financial year, the supplier would have waited so that we appropriate the funds for him later.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Bwana Gilbert, I think also we need to be honest the way Honorable B has just put it. After realizing that Alphonse has gone through that committee and it was approved that the money to be paid for tents and other suppliers, it was from the kitty. Why? From your department, the first thing you need to confirm before you do payment is 1, requisition, the way you have put it. Number 2, approve budget. And then number 3 is the accountant to confirm, and then payment forger. Do you know the payment that was made of 2.9 million to Supertex? It has no award letter, hakuna LSO. The only thing that they had is the forger, the invoice, and that is the invoice and the minutes. I want to know from your side, from your experience, Bwana CEO, from your experience, even deducting 2% tax, it was not the tax. I want to know from your side, surely, are we doing the right thing as the county? Was that thing right? Even you, as the CEO of Finance, did you return the document to CEO governors so that they can prepare a very good document, instead of waiting until today that you are telling us it was approved by the committee and then it went in? No, can you come out clear, Bwana CEO? If the required standard of documents to be paid is requisition, LSO, forger, when the forger is not there, I want to know from your side, Bwana CEO, do you think that these people misuse the money paying a contractor who has not gone through a pre-qualification, who has not gone through a procurement process? Kindly tell us. Even taxing 2%, that will remain for the government.
To answer your question, Mheshimiwa, as I had said earlier, there was those requests from the office of the county secretary, who is the head of public service, to the CC in charge of finance, and there was accompanying minutes on the same. This one made it. This one now allowed the accountants to process the payment, because once the request was made to the office of the head of county treasury.
But Bwana CEO, you are lying to us. The minutes for a committee cannot supersede the procurement, public and procurement, PPRA. You are lying to us.
How now, Mheshimiwa?
Bwana CEO, you are lying to us. If it is a requirement for you to be paid, it's a forger. If it is a requirement for you to be paid, it is the tax. If it is a requirement for you to be paid, it's an LSO. How can the minutes stand as a forger? How can the minutes stand as the tax?
Let's pay, Mheshimiwa, to answer your question, and let's be factual. I had also indicated earlier that this account is donation account, and any withdrawal or any payment in that Afghanistan account is guided by what the committee has approved. So as a Department of Finance, we only facilitated what has been approved with regards to the deliberation the committee made. So in this case, myself, even if my accountants could have done what we call a deduction of the 3% and 2%, how will now the finance account to carry that we are making against this payment only to the specific donation account? This is a special case. Let me now take you to how payments are made through IFMIS. When a payment, a contractor needs to be paid, everything has been loaded. The system automatically deducts the 2% and 3%, which when the payment will be made, even the TFRS will be made directly to carry to approve. But here is a case, this is a donation account, Mheshimiwa. If from my experience or my case, if a payment is done, meaning the whole carrier has surveillance everywhere. If a payment is done to you as a contractor, irrespective, even if it was a charge project you are doing, carrier knows that Matthew has been paid, Mheshimiwa Matthew has been paid. It will still come for you, even if whoever the pay quantity has not been deducted. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bwana CEO. Maybe for purposes of these proceedings, I wish to take you back. Then I give the chance to Honorable Dora, then Honorable Kiprotich Rogony, then Peter Kemoy, then we conclude on this matter. So now that Bwana CEO, you are the link person as per the letter that was written to you as the link person who was supposed to have accompanied the money from Londiani all the way to Kericho. Who in particular did he accompany or she accompanied the money? We are only told of CPA Nancy being present at the counting center. Who is this person who accompanied the money now that you are not around?
As I had said earlier, thank you, Chair. To answer your question, I was to be the link person between the chief forest, and the bank. I was to, and I had said earlier, when I was called by the bank in the morning to collect the seals, I handed over the seals to Honorable Leonard, who is in charge of this, because myself, I was not feeling well. I confirm, and he confirmed to this committee when he appeared on Friday, that he was the one who sealed the box, and he even brought the broken seals to this committee. And again, there was a padlock in that box, which again, when he placed that padlock, he gave the keys to the driver to come and give it to CPA Nancy on this other end, because Nancy was supposed to confirm if truly whatever was brought here is exactly the keys as he had been brought. She was also to confirm to make sure that the seal she is supposed to break is the same seals that was Siri had placed in the other end. Also, when she was opening the box, she also confirms that the padlock that Nancy was opening is the same padlock Wasiri has placed it from the other end. That is it.
Thank you so much, Honorable Dora. Then you give
Okay.
questions to Honorable.
Thank you, Chair. I wanted to ask CPA Gilbert, if the donation account and the money that you put there was for a special purpose, what guidelines did you use on reimbursing the money? And if any, was it passed by this county assembly before approval?
So that you just appropriately respond.
Another question. The donation account is under which department in the county government? Is it finance? And if it is finance, are you not the administrator of the account?
Concluded your questions. So I wish to give to Honorable Kiprotich Rogoin.
Okay, thank you, Chairman. CPA Gilbert, my name is Rogoin. I'm a member of this county assembly, friend to the committee. Quick one, only two questions. One, is Supertix pre-qualified in the county? You might have said, but I might not have gotten you. Then number two, you've explained what I would have asked. Since this one is a donation account, and this was an emergency, it means if you are engaging any supplier or any service provider, it means, of course, you people have guidelines on how to have them engaged. My point then is, I don't think procurement process can be followed for us to get maybe a tent or later. What I only wanted to explain is the guideline on how most of these service providers and these suppliers were engaged, because it should be clear from the word go. Maybe the process might have been bypassed, but it has to be cured at some point. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you so much. Kindly proceed.
Thank you, Chair. And to answer, to start with Mheshimiwa Rogon's question on the issue of if Supertix is pre-qualified or not, I think for this case I have said we don't have any running we don't have a running what we call framework contracts. Number two, on the issues of guidelines, I think as I had earlier said and I had answered that question is guidelines must have been followed, but in this case it was an emergency. So for that question, I think Nani had handled it, Alphonse, on the same. To answer the question of special purpose account from Mheshimiwa Dora through the chair, I think as I had earlier mentioned, and also to this committee, that donation account, there are two sets. If the donation that is being made to the county government is with regards to development, meaning section 47 and 48 of the PFM Act guides. But in this case, this was a donation account that has been running from the county government only for specific purposes. which meaning this account can only be run based on that specific function in the county government.
Okay. An addition on that, before Kemboy finishes, you said we collected a total of 13 point something. That was in cash. How much did we have in the pay bill?
Thank you, Chair. I think to answer your question, based on the statement that Wasiria delivered on, to this committee on Friday when he appeared, on that of July, we had collected 29,810 via pay bill. On 4th of July, that was on the day of the fundraiser, we deposited, the money collected was 13,653,000. On the 2nd, that was on 5th, it was 537 through the pay bill. On 6th, it was 266. On 7, it was 51, 253, and another 51, 150, totaling to 935,964.
Same cash at hand, that was the total cash that was collected, plus what was in the pay bill.
It was coming to 14.5.
It was coming to 14.589 600.
Sure.
As you finalize on the same CPA Gilbert, the records we have is around 5 point something out of this went to the victims, while 9 point went to expenditures. Considering the purpose of the fundraiser, what do you have to say? Thank you so much. And kindly take from Honorable Kemboy, then you conclude and give us your final remarks.
Maybe, Chair, thank you. The question that I was to raise is concerning the pay bill. So I hope you have tackled that. Maybe only to request that the CPA Gilbert, you are aware of the pay bill. Who initiated this pay bill? And who was to inform the committee? Because according to the minutes captured, the amount as per the pay bill was reading 29,000. And yet you have confirmed to us that it was 900 and something thousand. Who was supposed to be informing the committee? And who initiated the pay bill? Who received the messages for the pay bill made every day? Thank you.
To finish up on the same, there is an upcoming one. We are told of some cash being kept on safe custody in one of the offices. I don't know, according to you, what can you say of the same? Because we are told money belonging to Boda are still in safe custody. It was withdrawn from the account and is being kept by someone in the office. What can you say on the same?
To answer on the aspect of who was in charge of the pay bill, I think to be on record, the pay bill was requested through the office of the county secretary. And I wish this committee also could have invited Safaricom so that they can also, it's good to be factual. The pay bill was initiated through the office of the county secretary. The details of him, the county secretary, was taken. But now that aspect of how the money is collected through the pay bill was settled in the donation account. I think since the nature of the activity was a bit emotional, I think the pay bill, the Safaricom, from my understanding, when you have a look at the statement, Safaricom must have placed under what we call auto-settle after 12 hours. Because if you have a look at the statement, the monies, once monies has been collected through the pay bill, it was hitting that account effectively after 12 hours. Meaning, they didn't, there's another way that Safaricom also could have done, but in this case, they did it directly to the account, based, because of the nature of the fundraiser. On the aspect of Mheshimiwa Moses on the cash, the treasury, I just want to confirm to this committee that, as explained earlier by my chief accountant, that there was money withdrawn, but they're still in the cash office. The exact amount that is in cash office is not 600. The actual amount is 690. And I think Chirchir will explain that is in the waiting area because he's the custodian of the same. Thank you.
One last one from Honorable Ezra.
Thank you, Chairman, and welcome, Gilbert. Maybe mine is not much question. I am seeking for your personal opinion, considering the purpose of the fundraiser was meant for the victims, and the money which was raised was meant to cushion the victims on other expenditure. But when you see the amount which was raised, it was almost 13 million, 14 million. You know the exact. Out of that, 9 million went to expenditure, and 5 million went to the victims. On your own analysis as a finance officer, which are these bills which were supposed to be made by emergency kit? Was these bills fitting to be offsetted by emergency, or they didn't fit to be offset by emergency? And what was the what is your general on your own general opinion? How was this supposed to be handled? Because you have, when you balance now what the public was expecting and what the committee came up with it.
Maybe to nail it well, the deceased were getting 90,000, while the casualties, the deceased families were getting 90,000, while the casualties who were injured were getting 60,000. What can you say of the same?
With the emergency kit.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Esron, and through the Chair, I think and I earlier explained how the emergency fund could have been administered was only on that specific day and within the 24 hours. Maybe what could have happened from my end, if the hospital, there are some of the things the hospital could have utilized within that period of time, they could have requested the finance department through the head of the treasury to be reimbursed through emergency at that time, if there are some of the consumables they wanted at that time, because they could have applied from that perspective. But the emergency could not be used for the other aspect of paying the tents, because already the time has lapsed. Yeah.
So you want to tell this committee the emergency kit will not be utilized beyond 72 hours, irrespective of the nature of the incident or the purpose?
Yes.
So if now, if we want to reimburse the hospital, it can qualify to be reimbursed through emergency?
If you have a look at that act, it stipulates out that emergency can be administered, the fund itself. Okay. So not unless a special what we call a special committee to what we call you make a special request on the same, then can be deliberated from this other end. So it can also guide from our end to assist us manage the same, because the same act was also passed through by the county assembly. If the same act can be amended so that at least it can fit on areas that is seen as sort of an emergency, the better.
So, on your own opinion, what could have happened? How could have the committee utilized or offset other bids now, considering that now that the emergency will not be fitting?
From my own, when the committee decided, the first thing could have agreed, and when they met and deliberated on the same, the first thing they could have run to their mind was the issue of the victim first before any other expenditure is done.
Now, who could have met the expenditure incurred?
Pardon?
Who now could have met the expenditure, considering now the committee sat and dispersed all the money?
That could have been a deliberation on that same say the tents are raised, how are you going to make the payment? Then it could have, let's say, if the committee could have suggested and say, let finance make payment on this through their budget. Let this department make through the budget. It could have been a better, if there was that kind of deliberation and consultation. That is.
Thank you so much, Honorable Ezron and Honorable members. We want to appreciate CPA Gilbert for honoring our invite. Thank you for your submissions to this committee. I wish to give you a chance to tell us your final word as we conclude on this matter.
Thank you, Chair. I think on the happenings of Londiani, it is still devastating, and we still say sorry for the loss of our loved ones, and also to wish the quick recovery to those who were injured. Also on the same, I wish to thank this committee for offering me this opportunity. And maybe through the chair, there is some information that maybe you didn't know. Myself, I wasn't officially invited to this committee. I got a communication from Abraham through a text that I was supposed to appear here today. I told him, no, if he was, and he told me he wanted to redo the letter to me. I told him, no problem. Myself, I am available. Let me just present myself, because at the end of the day, this is an issue that affects the public, and the public must be, because if myself, if I have said and say I haven't gotten the invite, the committee could have also said maybe Gilbert has some other information that he didn't want us to share. And I appreciate him for also communicating to me, and I thank this committee for your time, and I wish you all the best when you retreat to make your deliberation. I wish you God guidance and protection. Thank you.
Thank you so much, CPA Gilbert, for honoring that invite by whichever route it took to reach you. So on behalf of this committee, we are so grateful. We wish you well as you proceed. It is around 7:50. I know it is still early for some of us. I wish you well.
Maybe if we can pass,
you proceed.
We can pass by our cafeteria, get a cup of coffee.
There's a cup of tea. So, Sergeant at Arms, kindly usher Gilbert out of his presence. Thank you, Gilbert, and may God bless you.
Edgar.
We wish to call Edgar.
Edgar, boardroom one.
Yeah, I think. prosperity and welfare of our country and of those whose interest you have committed to our church.
Amen.
Our legal officer, I wish that you would administer oath to both of them so that we proceed.
I, Willie Churchill, do swear that evidence that I shall give before this committee is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you so much.
I, Edgar Toet, do swear that the evidence I shall give before this committee is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you so much. For purposes of introduction, I am Rotich Moses, chair to this Adhoc committee.
And I'm Philip Prono, a member to this committee.
Primati Korir, member to this committee.
I am Vincent Korir, I represent Londiani Ward and a member of this committee.
Martin David, MCA Chiefs Ward, member to this committee. Chair, I don't have any conflict of interest.
Thank you so much.
My names are Richard Langat, MCA Kericho Ward, and member to this committee. I have no conflict of interest in both witnesses. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Maybe we will give you a chance also to introduce yourself to this committee.
Chairman,
okay,
you're forgetting the team.
Sorry,
I don't know why.
Sorry.
No, I'm here. From that time I've been here, and I'm here. Chairman, thank you so much. I'm Gilbert Kibrov Ngetich, MCA Kishara Ward, member to the committee. And Edgar hails from Bureti, where I do hail from. But the resolutions which are to be made here will never be altered by our emanation from Bureti. Thank you.
Within us here, again, members of the Secretariat.
Thank you so much and welcome. My name is Abraham Langat, Secretariat to this committee.
William Tolle, Secretariat.
I am Coach Patricia, Secretariat.
I'm Renis Chipngatich, PRO.
I'm Patrick Korir, PRO.
Justus Maritim, Sergeant at Arms.
Thank you so much. Kindly proceed and introduce yourself.
My name is Willie Churchill, an employee of the Kericho County as an accountant.
Thank you so much, Chirchir.
Good evening, members.
Good evening.
My name is Edgar Toet, Chief of Staff.
Thank you so much. For purposes of record, this is another committee that was formed pursuant to Kericho County Assembly Standing Orders to investigate a matter in relation to 4th of July 2017 in regard to Londiani accident victims. I wish to go to Edgar Toet, that is Chief Officer and Head of County Delivery Unit. There is a letter, Edgar, dated 3rd of July 2023 from Edgar to Alphonse Kipkiroi-Rotich, that is the Chief Officer, Executive Office of the Governor. Request for supply, delivery of items for county government function. Can you recall the letter, Edgar? Thank you so much. What do you know about this letter?
The reference for that one?
Yes, a reference is COG, OK, COS, FIN, Volume 1, 110.
Yes. Yes,
So
I
you can
generated it from my office.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so I wish to give to Honorable Philip Bruno.
Maybe one you wrote to one Alphonse, and the writings that are on that letter, we saw Alphonse wrote approved CEO Finance, kindly consider this under emergency fund. That is note number one. Note number two, he later said, after consultation, it was discussed, or it was decided to be paid from the fundraising kit. And we saw that you were also present in various meetings that was held at the governor's boardroom. I think you were present. Some meetings that were held in governor's boardroom. Who is this person who first raised the decision that let what you had requested be facilitated under fundraising kit that was then noted by the same Alphonse in note 2 or 19? Who is this person who first raised the issue that let it be handled under the fundraising kit? Yet Alphonse, in his wisdom, he had seen it wise to be handled under the emergency fund kit. If you remember, you can tell us.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa, for the question. First, I want to clarify that the function of the Office of the Chief of Staff is to manage the governor's official diary. Secondly, is the composition and generation of correspondence relating to governor's official activities. Thirdly, is maintenance of confidentiality and integrity of the office. Another is the scheduling meetings in the governor's office, managing appointments and travel schedules for the governor, managing the itinerary of the governor, vetting of visitors, calls and messages to the governor, prioritization of the governor's schedule, management of logistics in the governor's office, supervising of communication, protocol and liaison officers, provide leadership and cultivate professionalism among the staff within the office of the governor, coordination of activities and reporting structures in the governor's office, and responsible for the county delivery system. One of those functions in my office is that on the 3rd of July, there was a meeting that was held at the boardroom of the governors, which was attended by leaders within the county of Kericho. And in that meeting, there was an agreement that was made that there will be a fundraiser. First it was agreed that there is a memorial service and a fundraiser that will be held on 4th, and it will be officiated, or the chief guest will be the second in command. And from that meeting, it was tasked that the county government to proceed with the planning. And that is when I took the initiative of coordinating activities within the governor's office to request for facilitation for that event to take place. And that is what I did. I requested for facilitation to the office of the chief officer, who is the AI holder of the office.
My question is, maybe you didn't get it after you wrote a letter to the chief officer office of the governor that emanated from your office, and the bearer of the name is you. It was noted, the chief officer office of the governor noted that that was approved, and CEO Finance, he marked to CEO Finance and say, kindly consider this under emergency. And later on, the same chief officer came a note put a note. After consultation, it was decided to be paid from the fundraising kitty. Now, in that meeting that you attended, who is this first person who noted that this should be from fundraising kitty?
I was not in that meeting.
You are not in that meeting?
Yes.
Edgar, I want you to confirm to us there's a meeting that was held on county 20th July 2023 at county secretary office on disbursement of checks. Members present was Dr. Wesley Bor, Leonard Ngetich, Honorable Brenda B, Edna Tonui, Chirchir Judith, Daniel Rob, C. Betsy Chebet, Wekesa Simiu, Assistant County Commissioner, Mr. Alphonse Rotich, and Mr. Edgar Toet. Can you confirm that you are present in this meeting?
No, I was not present.
So,
thank you so much.
Okay.
I think this one, Chairman, is the same minutes that were actually, that the Chief Officer, Office of the Governor said it was actually doctored. In fact, he used the word cut and paste. So it is the same minutes. I wish now, maybe through your intelligence chair, if we can release Edgar, because he seems not to have anything that is touching so much on him.
Maybe unless we give him a chance, Edgar. Before.
Now, Chairman, I have some concerns. I have some concerns. Now, I think you have read your roles very well on how you engage with the staff and how you relate to the staff. Some minutes ago, Alphonse, who is also Chief Officer, said that he had a complaint that maybe is not considered when decisions are made. Again, you see, if you are Chief of Staff, then you are supposed to be supervising the staff around. And there are rules and procedures also that has to be followed within that cycle. For example, the issue of procuring of tents was brought into the question. And at some point, I heard your name mentioned in the procurement of tents, that there is a decision that you make. Now, you see, to protect the integrity of that office, rules and procedures should be followed. Can you maybe kindly, in all this process, there is something called emergency preparedness, meaning we don't expect to have an emergency, but we should be prepared for any eventuality that an emergency comes. There is a document that someone has signed and said, pay from emergency. And somebody said no after consultation. Well done. During that consultation, I think you are mentioned somewhere. So I know maybe you might not have been in the meeting, but you are privy to decisions that are made regarding this preparedness for that emergency that happened in Londiani. Kindly, can you shed light on what you know about the whole scenario? Anyway, you are not in the meeting, but I know you have some information. Thank you.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. First, I want to say that I supervise the personal staff in the office of the governor. The CEO does not fall in that category. And the decisions that I make in my office, I only communicate what I need to be facilitated as per the diary, as per the activities that are within the office of the governor. And I will not go beyond to seek and ask questions on where the payment will come from. I will only do my own purpose of the office is to do the requisition, and I'll just wait for the other procedure to be done by the CEO to proceed with the other the processes that will go after that.
Okay, Chair. I I remember yesterday when the Supertex director was appearing here, he did confirm that on some point you are the one calling for the contract. Can you confirm to be on record whether it was you are the one or either Alphonse or anybody? Can you tell us who over the contract to Supertex, Supershine, Race Hotel? Because it is said the office, the higher office, we don't understand. It was not mentioned here by, we have cross-examined a number of people. Kindly be clear so that, Edgar, we might not be, we will not fall to that trap where some staff want us to engage with, to settle scores on behalf of them. Kindly.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. My work is only to do requisition. I will not go and seek anything else. My work is only to request from the need that is there. I will only do a request. I don't make any calls to anybody. Mine is only to request to the office of the CEO.
Okay, yeah, Chair, I'm requesting if there is no other question, we can release him.
I have a concern. Erica, do you remember MCS attending the meeting in Governor's office boardroom? That was on Sunday. Sunday 3rd, if I'm not wrong. Or Monday. Monday. Was it Monday? And the following day was yes, fundraiser.
It was Monday.
It was Monday. Yes. You remember very well we attended SMCS?
Yes, I knew there were leadership across.
How are we treated in your office? Within the premises? SMCS? You don't know.
Didn't see it.
Do you remember MCS remaining behind while other leaders went to Londiani? Do you remember? We were still loitering within the governor's compound.
Maybe I didn't notice it at that moment.
You noticed. You noticed. And you pretend that there were no cars ferrying us to be used by MCS. And yet the cars which were there used by other people whom we don't know. How do you treat MCS in your office?
I normally
because there is a very grave concern.
I want to apologize for what happened on that day. But in my office, I normally hold them with a lot of respect. Whenever they come to my office, I normally hold them with a lot of respect.
Can you imagine I was thrown out of the government vehicle, county government vehicle, and somebody else ended in? And we don't know those people. Who are they?
Must apologize.
So it's a point of, I must say it's a concern. Unless these other MCs were comfortable, I was not comfortable.
Edika, I think one thing, rejoinder, you need also to correct those messes. You remember the other day when I was closed in by just a staff. I complained to you on the same, but this is coming now for the second time. You know, when we come to governor's office, we are coming for issues, word, matters, development. But that one aside, today you have answered your questions, and we wish you well in this matter that does not even have issue with you. Thank you so much, if you can release.
Okay, Chairman, could be also to comment on what Honorable Member from Chepsion. I was in the assembly premise when he was actually telling the story of how they were mishandled to an extent of them being left behind when the process was on and they remained in the governor's offices. It wasn't a good show as per the explanation, but I like one thing about you saying you are apologizing for what happened. I'm sure whenever honorable member, when an incident like that happened in Londiani and the environs, there are honorable members who are really coming from those areas. They should be in the list of priority when it comes to ferrying people to the particular site. So leaving them behind was a bit of a great mess because they were the decision makers. In these questions we are asking again, when deciding who to benefit, they were supposed to be there in that meeting. If they were there, could be we would not have been sitting here in another committee, because they would have corrected some messes, which could be it was taken as an oversight. In this case then, going ahead, when things are good, things are bad, MCS are supposed to be given their own respect. Thank you.
With those very many remarks from the members, thank you so much, Edgar, for finding time and honoring our invite. We wish you well. In case there are any other comments you would want to make, any comment?
Thank you, Chair and the members. I want also to appreciate the time that you accorded me to clarify a number of things. And I want also to apologize also for what happened. Going forward, I believe we're going to improve on the services within the office of His Excellency the Governor, that our leadership of the Kericho County will be given the respect that they deserve at all times. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I want to wish you well, as it's now around 8:15. I wish you well as you proceed with the remainder of your activities on your calendar today. So, say agenda terms, kindly usher him to take up a cup of tea somewhere, so that we proceed with Mr. Chirchir. So, Mr. Chirchir, welcome.
Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, we are here secondary to an investigation that preceding events that happened in Londiani. We wish to, you were mentioned today by previous witnesses as of being an accountant in the office. You also again mentioned being the person who is in custody of cash that were withdrawn, that was supposed to have gone to border kitty. Kindly shed light on those notes.
Yes, I can confirm that my name is Willie Chirchir, and I operate at office number 111, where cash box, or rather a strong room, is one of the facilities that are in that place. Also included in that strong room is also a checkbook. So my primary work actually is to write checks and keep them in safe custody.
Thank you, Chirchir. I know that you have been working in this county for long, and you have a lot of experience, if I'm not wrong. You have been the signatory to an emergency fund account before.
Yes.
How does the transaction being done when you want to pay a contractor? What are the requirements to that account? Or even if you have been to a signatory to any county account, what are the requirements when you want to pay a supplier or you want to pay an interest to a staff? What are the requirements? Or what is the process?
The process is that first there's a request towards that request. Secondly, the same request is taken to the necessary stages. Among those stages is that you prepare a payment voucher, which is supposed to be approved by the relevant officers.
It's okay. What about in this case that we have a donor fund account? What are the procedures when we want to pay a supplier? Is it the same that of the emergency fund?
Well, I guess the procedure is actually the same, though we have not encountered a situation whereby we have had a fundraiser being deposited at donation account.
Okay, another thing. Any money that enters to account, that one I think will be controlled under an act called PFM Act. So why this one was not controlled under the PFM Act?
I cannot really tell because we were not consulted, or rather I was not consulted.
You are not consulted. So one, you have the 300,000 that was withdrawn by OT, Leonard.
Yes, sir.
And yesterday we were told that one Betsy was given 423,000. Are you confirming? Because we want the document that showed that she received 423,000.
Yes, I can confirm that Betsy received 423,000.
Can you share with us any document to show?
Okay, on that one, you said she received 400,000, 423,000.
Yes, sir.
Now, it's a question of 90,000. Did you remain with a balance of 90,000?
CO Betsy took 423 as witnessed in that form that she signed. And then later, one of the administrators by the name Joyce came with 90,000.
Now,
saying that she had been given initially by Betsy.
Now, tell us more. Who is this administrator you are talking about?
The administrator is Joyce. Let me confirm the other name.
And also the date of
Joyce
the
Mutai.
When was the date?
On 31st July.
31st?
July.
Okay, you say sorry, she was given 90,000 and she decided to return back. Did she give you the reason for returning the money back?
She said Betsy will come for them. Was actually Betsy is the one who gave her the money.
Okay, I have a question.
And I think she was unable.
Chairman, I have a rejoinder.
Yes.
If you gave Betsy 423,000,
yes,
was there any reason she would return herself until she had to send someone else to return return the money back? Because I realized on 30th, it is immediately after the whistleblower exposed everything. That's why they end up returning back the money. But you want to confirm, I want you to confirm to this committee, but you have not received any amount from one Betsy back to cash office. You have never received.
I've never received.
Thank
I
you.
only received 90.
Thank you. That was we want to take that as a donation because we had a fundraising in Londiani. Maybe those people failed to attend a fundraising. We want to talk about the issue of pets for 23,000.
Thank you.
So, how much in cash that was in relation to this do you still have?
What is in my custody?
Yes.
690.
690?
Yes.
That was meant for border borders?
Yes.
Why is it that you still keep the money in custody, close to a month post the incident.
I was not actually the user of the money, but as I initially said, I'm just a custodian.
Thank you. Now, I think I'm getting now how you received the cash. You received 423,000.
Yes, sir.
That was from PSM.
Yes.
Yes,
from
as
PSM.
approved, it was PSM.
Yes.
Now, there is the money that was supposed to be for county commissioner. Did you receive 300,000 for county commissioner? In the documentation and when you are being handed the money, the 300,000 that was drawn as per the minutes and as per the budget is 300,000 for county commissioner.
Yes.
Do you have that one?
I cannot really tell if it was for the county commissioner. What I can confirm is that those who encashed the check gave me the money.
Now, when you are receiving the money, do you normally ask? Because if I give you cash, do I tell you this money is going to be spent where, how, and when, and for who? Because you cannot just receive 300,000 then without accountability. Number two, did you receive 300,000 for motorbikes that were damaged? Because in the minutes it's very clear that they were withdrawing money basing on what was approved. So we cannot talk of other issues. We need to talk of what was approved. And if you received money that was not approved, then you should account for it.
I received money from Fernandez, 423.
Let's start from there. You received 423 from Fernandez.
From Fernandez.
And then you handed over to Betsy Direct.
To Betsy Direct.
Okay. And then
Equally the same Fernandez, 300.
And then you handed over to?
I think it's contained in that.
No, we want to know, you received 300,000, you handed over to who again?
To Alphonse.
Alphonse.
Yes.
And then you receive also 100,000 from Oti?
From Oti.
There is money that you, Oti, withdrew on 21st. But in the morning, he confirmed that he handed over to you.
Who?
Oti.
Oti.
Leonard Oti.
Yes, I received 300 from Oti.
You receive another 300 from Oti? No, let's first agree the money that he received. And then this 100,000, you receive another 100,000 from Oti?
Yes.
And then you handed over to?
I can confirm from those notes that I've handed over.
Where is the note? Where is that? Okay. We can. You Betsy received 423, and then this one is CS Betsy. Betsy again received 423, 300,000.
300,000.
Yeah, Betsy again, and then we have another 100,000. Betsy again.
Yes.
So Betsy, total amount that Betsy received is 823,000. And then we don't have one for Alphonse. I think you'll share with us.
He signed actually at the delivery.
He signed at the delivery.
Yes.
Because cash received acknowledgement. This is the acknowledgement of cash received of 300,000 being payment or facilitation or purchase of motorbike at Londiani towards accident victims. Recipient is CS Betsy C. Crui. And then you signed from the Fernandez sign.
Yeah.
And then Fernandez countersign. And then this one also Fernandez countersign.
The same countersigned by countersigned by Fernandez.
This one, yes, Fernandez countersign. So total amount that Betsy has, she had 823,000.
Yes.
So what of, you say you have 390 at your cash office?
Yes.
390 now belongs to who? Is there any money that was returned back from Alphonse or from Betsy? Where did you get the 390?
The first one, I got them from Alphonse.
Alphonse.
300.
So Alphonse returned 300.
And then from Betsy.
90.
300.
And then?
300.
How much do you have?
690.
690.
Yes.
Okay. And then another one is Betsy.
Yes.
Returning 300.
Yeah.
And then
90 from Joyce.
Joyce, in our case here, we are not seeing Joyce.
Part of the donation.
This part of donation.
The donation was
Well,
continuous
she
process.
explained it to me.
No. Explanation without a document,
Written-
Bwana Chirchir, that is a different case.
I take it that way.
Unless you produce a document signed by Joyce that she handed over 90,000 to you. Do you have any document?
I received 90. And I normally record them at.
Okay. So let's assume that was a donation.
That was a donation to the victim.
So
account.
Betsy,
She said actually she was returning money that she had been given by Betsy. Yeah.
For what purpose? Betsy.
Yes.
So as we talk now, the balance that Betsy, she will remain now with 433,000. And for the record, she will remain with 433,000. After taking 823, she returned 300, and we are assuming the 90 to be from her side. Let's also be realistic. We are assuming 90 from her side. So the total amount that is remaining, she has 433,000.
Honorable Matthew, before we are mixed up here, let's go step by step. I've seen the 423, which Betsy received.
Yes.
And then another 300.
Yes.
Betsy received.
Yes.
And then 100.
Yes.
As per your documents.
Yes.
Where is this 300 that Alphonse returned to you? Because it is not captured in these minutes. The OT submitted the 300 to Alphonse or to where is it captured in the other document, because it is not there.
Yeah. It's recorded in the delivery.
And how did you hand over to Alphonse?
He
Because
signed.
if you receive from OT 300,
Yes.
and you submitted to Alphonse,
Yes.
where is the document that shows that you submitted the 300 to
Have it. Have a
delivery?
Yes.
With this one you are showing us now, can we have a copy like this one for Betsy? The one that shows that when you receive from Fernandez, Betsy took this 423 and 300 and 100.
Yes.
This document that we can see.
Yes.
Can we have another document that shows that you receive the 300 and you hand over to Alphonse?
In our case, it was somehow different because it's him who took the individual checks of the victims. So I recorded actually all the cash and the...
No, Matthew. And Matthew, maybe for the concern of this, I think you remember Betsy said she received 423 less 90,000. Less 90,000, that means 2. But you see what she is in the record. She said she received 90,000 less 423. She says she did not receive full 423,000. That is what she is. 333. She said 333. But you are confirming how much in total?
But all the same, it is actually the same thing, because she took, regardless, she took 823. She returned the other amount, which the cash at hand in Betsy is 333.
Correct.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, so regardless, he took 823, but the other amount he returned back to you.
Yes.
Thank you. $333 because he is confirming that he has the 90.
Okay, thank you so much. For purposes, maybe for purposes of continuity.
Yes, we need. No, Chairman, we need to have exact figure.
We have the documents. The Sergeant at Arms has proceeded to photocopy the copies of the receipts of this money. I wish that we hold on a bit so that yes, 300, 23, another 100, 23. The balance is 433.
Maybe you can take us also on the same. What did you receive back from Betsy after you have given out 23,000?
300.
You received the 300?
Then 90 through Joyce Mutai.
90? 90?
90 through Joyce Mutai.
It's okay.
Chairman,
it is 433. Yeah. Then 433.
There is documents that is here now. I think it is very clear. She received 423,000 shillings. I think it is very clear, Chirchir.
Thank
you. Chairman, this one now, this document indicates clearly that it is 423. But when she talked to us, Betsy, I've seen page 2 where she received a total of 300. And page 3, a total of 100. 823. 394. She returned how much?
390.
390. So you see, she received the same 433, and she said she has only 333. 90,000. 333. So to mean maybe the mathematics that Betsy gave to the committee is wrong.
Okay, maybe.
Where is the document? I think there is a breakdown. There's a breakdown that Betsy gave us, that they gave pastors 100,000.
Yes.
They gave widowers 100,000. He gave officers 133,000. And 133,000.
133.
Yes, thousand.
Yes.
And there is a psychosocial support of around 90,000. Yes, that is refunded.
I guess this is the 90 that
90,000 was returned by the administrators.
Psychosocial, what is psychosocial support?
There's 100. There's 100 for.
So there's a breakdown that she gave us 100,000 for pastors.
Yes.
And the rest was amounting to 333,000.
So it is okay. 90,000.
1,000 is the one that you claim that was returned by Joyce.
Yes.
How much cash do you have in your safe that belongs to this fundraiser kitty?
690.
690.
Yes.
690. That is, if we go to your strong room,
yes,
we will count 690,000.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
The question is,
I think I have a question, Chairman, in relation to the money returned. Because Alphonse claims that he didn't receive any money, but he received. I think by the documents he received. Now, because you are the custodian of the money, when you give out money, you give out with a reason. What about now when somebody returns the money? How do you account for the money given out and money returned? And suppose there was no issue, there was no complaint, there was no committee like this, what could you have done with the money returned?
Under such situation, you receipt. You receive the same by rebanking.
So have you rebanked the money?
Not yet.
Why?
Because when they were returning this money, they said it was specifically for borders. And they said they are still consulting with their procurement officer as to which motorbikes they were going to buy.
Thank you. You are now bringing in the issue of a procurement officer.
Yes, sir.
Okay, earlier on we have seen so many things were done without procurement officer. Why procurement officer now? And again, why border? And yet it's very clear from the minutes that I believe you saw that 300,000 was for border. What changed?
I cannot really tell what changed because I was not part of the meeting that sat to approve the same.
There is something that you are not very clear here. And I think all of you, all the officers that you have questioned, from the CS all the way, there is this issue of county commissioner, fuel, meal, and allowance. Why is it being rotated like this? When I asked you, you told me it was taken by Alphonse. And you don't want to mention the name that it was taken to county commissioner. Is there any instructions that you try and hide this money behind border? Behind is returned for what? Kindly. This is the minutes that approved. The minutes that approved, that you say that approved increase of border money has been disowned completely. Nobody can identify with these minutes. And this is something to do with forgery. Did you use any basis? Did you ask for minutes of approval? Maybe so that you can be able to verify this. So this one, the issue of, did you issue first, in the first place, money for county commissioner?
No.
What did you issue to Alphonse? What was the money that you issued to Alphonse meant for?
It was meant for border.
Now, what about the money that was meant for border, 300,000, and the ones that were meant for county commissioner? When you were issuing to Alphonse, you were issuing on what basis?
Is Alphonse a procurement officer?
No.
Then you mentioned clearly that issue of border had to take the procurement route. And until today, you have not involved procurement. You know, the money would have remained in the account until such a time when the procurement procedures has been adhered to, then you go withdraw the money and pay. Is it that it is as if you withdraw the money earlier to wait in the strong room for procurement procedures to be adhered to?
My assumption was that the minutes that were produced and that were attached with the documents that were available in our office indeed indicated that they were meant to be for borders.
You see, we are not getting each other, and you have sworn. we are following money for the victims.
Yes.
We represent the people who are affected. And we need the truth from you. Kindly don't take us in cycles. You told us that you issued money to Alphonse.
Yes, sir.
Did you say so? How much?
300.
Was it for Boda?
I guess it was for Boda.
No.
Because the payment vouchers are there.
No, tell us the truth. Was it for Boda?
I cannot really tell if it was for Boda, but if you look at...
You issued another 300,000 again.
But, Chairman,
yes.
A rejoinder. Chirchir.
Yes, sir.
Let's be clear. You issue acknowledgement receipt of 300,000 to Betsy, that to facilitate purchase of motorcycle. That is Boda.
Yes.
And then, in the approved committee budget, the other 300 was meant for county commissioner that you handed over to Alphonse. Kindly.
Attached with, I don't know if you're in possession of minutes of 20th July 2023.
Yes.
The 20th July minutes has been disowned by the one Alphonse. So we cannot even discuss about those minutes now. We are beyond there.
But I was not in the meeting.
Who was giving you the minutes?
They were attached with the payment voucher.
That is Alphonse.
So I cannot really tell who brought the...
Where is that payment voucher? If we can get a payment voucher on that. Is there any payment voucher from that?
There is.
So when can we get that payment voucher?
Maybe tomorrow?
Tomorrow morning.
Yes.
Thank you.
And again, when you say funds received 300 for borders, there is also another 300,000. Yeah?
Yes.
That from this document you have given us.
Yes.
Kindly read for us on the 7th of August 2023 what you have on your end. Check number 00115. And it is yesterday.
Which one?
Yesterday. That is the dated 7th of August. That is yesterday. Yesterday. The document you have just given us.
Yes.
Yes. The 7th of August. Reference number 29.
Yes.
Kindly confirm to us that it is 7th of August 2023.
I guess that was a typing error.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Because the time that Betsy was receiving the money
you had
is on 21st.
Kindly check for us the check number 00115. 00115. 115. 00115. That was in 20th of July. And we have payment for border, isn't it? On 20th. Maybe this is the date she collected. The check was written on 20th. The date for collection is 21st.
On 21st. Yes.
What was the 300 for?
For OT.
And I will read the check number and what is written in the check.
Unless I look at the payment voucher.
That was the withdrawal of 21st.
21st, yes?
Yes, 21st. 21st, can you check 21st? After receiving money from Fernandez, you receive also from OT.
Yes.
What was for? Payment voucher?
I do not have the payment voucher with me.
But you receive 100,000 from OT?
Yes.
What was the purpose of that? 100 plus 300?
It's contained in the one of the minutes of a meeting that was held on 20th July.
But the minutes on 20th has been disowned by the secretary of the meeting.
Well, but this is what we received. Okay. Since I was not in that meeting,
yes,
I cannot really tell.
Okay, thank you so much. So for purposes of information, and also from your end, we are yet to get a sworn affidavit of disowning these 20th of July 2023 minutes.
Okay.
We are informed by the one Alphonse, whom the minutes purports to have been taken by himself, that indeed it was a copy, paste. There was no such meeting that indeed happened. And then these minutes have gone ahead to perform transactions involving huge financial implications on money that was supposed to be used for funerals and to compensate for victims. I think that is for your own information.
Yes.
For purposes of information, these minutes has been disowned. What do you have to say now that it has been used to transact withdrawals on the same? Kindly proceed.
Chair, I can confirm that I did not sit in this committee, so I cannot really tell whether these are true minutes or not. But I can confirm that this...
On your opinion,
yes,
that you acted on minutes that are not admissible, that are not owned, to transact business in an account involving very heavy financial implications. What is your opinion on the same?
I believe, Chair, my boss was here some few minutes ago,
yes,
and indeed he confirmed that these minutes were brought to him, and he actually acted on them.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Who is your boss?
Now, okay. Yeah, confirm. Maybe somebody asked. Boss, I wanted to ask you something.
Who is your boss?
I guess the CEO of Finance was here some few minutes ago.
Okay, thank you. Now,
and he mentioned that.
Asante, thank
Yes.
you. You see, you said you are acting on minutes.
Honorable.
You're acting on minutes. And here, you see there's something I'm following up from you, and I need an answer.
Yes, sir.
You're acting on minutes to do payments, is it?
Not really. On payment vouchers.
On payment vouchers.
Yes.
Now, I still want answers, because kindly give me the answers before we leave these chambers.
Yes.
The PSM 423 you paid, the county commissioner, you said you gave to Alphonse. I'm tracing that money.
Yes.
And we need that money to come back.
Yes.
Now, how many people did you issue money for Boda Boda? Because there was only one approval for Boda Boda, 300,000.
Yes.
Where is the other 300,000? Did you give two people to buy Boda Boda differently, or you only issued 300,000 to once for Boda Boda? I would like you to explain to me the 300,000, because you see, I have seen from the county commissioner statement, everyone who came here is trying to defend this money. And actually, you see, we represent the people.
Yes.
We will find out the way of getting this money and how it was supposed to be spent and who was supposed to receive this money. This money, 300,000 you gave to Alphonse, was it for Boda Boda or for county commissioner?
According to the voucher, it was meant for Boda Boda. Payment voucher.
Mr. Chirchiri.
Yes, sir.
I'm concerned about 100,000. That is 21st July 2023.